me again, Kelly! Huge thanks to all of you for the warm support to Free Fire Esports in the past years. I know all of us can't wait to find out what's next for Free Fire Esports in 2021. So today, I am very excited to share with you what we've achieved so far and what we are planning for this year. Let's start with our biggest esports event in 2020, the Free Fire Continental Series. By the way, I hope you still remember my terrific performance at the opening ceremony. We broke records with the Asia Series, where 2.5 million of you tuned in to us live. The America Series also had a peak of over 1.7 million live viewers. Meanwhile, the EMEA Series also drew in nearly 300,000 live viewers, creating new viewership records for us in the CIS and Middle East regions. Your support was absolutely amazing! The Free Fire family just keeps growing. You guys rock! The World Series, together with the rest of our tournaments, pushed Free Fire into the top 5 most watched games on YouTube in 2020. Last but not least, we won the Esports Mobile Game of the Year at the Esports Awards 2020. We are humbled by your passion and love for Free Fire Esports. This award is yours as much as it is ours. Hayato, it's your turn to talk about the World Series.
Sure. We have continuously expanded our esports outreach throughout the world, and the number of participating regions have grown massively. We started with 9 regions at our very first international tournament, the Free Fire World Cup. Over the past 2 years, our esports community has grown to include India, Russia, the Middle East, and the Pakistan regions. Our plans to grow further do not stop here. And in 2021, we'll be adding Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Philippines as competitive regions.
Yay!
Next, we're proud to present the brand new logo and format for the Free Fire World Series, our largest and most iconic tournament of the year. This year will be bigger than ever before. There will be 2 World Series in 2021. The first World Series will be taking place in Asia during April, while the second World Series will be hosted in November. In addition to these, there will be another international tournament around July. So stay tuned for the rest of the year.
In 2021, we will continue to work hard and provide more engaging esports events and content. We are excited to see Free Fire Esports grow bigger this year, and we know we can do it with you as our loyal fans. That's all for now, and we will meet again very soon in April for the World Series.
See you soon!
Hi survivors, subscribe and press the bell icon for more awesome content. See you in the next video!
অসাধারণ গেম প্লে ফ্রম হটশট তাই আমাদের এসকে দা কাই থেকে অসাধারণ সুমন ভাই এখানে থার্ড পার্টি
টোটালে গেলে কিন্তু ওপেন একটা থার্ড
আনলিমিটেড জীবনের একজন ডাউন তাকে এবং এখানে থার্ড পার্টি
টোটালে গেমিং তো ওপেন লেভেলে থার্ড
বাংলাদেশি লাস্ট প্লেয়ারটা শেষ রক্ষা
পুশ করার সময় আমি আমার ড্রাম ড্যামেজ নিতে গিয়েছিলাম, তখন আমার নেট চলে গিয়েছিল আর সেই সময় আমার 3টে টিমমেট নকডাউন ছিল কিন্তু তাদেরকে আমি হিল দিতে পারিনি।
একটা টুর্নামেন্টে লাস্ট জোনে অনেকটা বেশি ছিল, প্রায় 10-15 জনের মতো। সো সে ওখানে ক্যাম্প করে প্লাস ওর স্ট্র্যাটেজি মেনে ও এতজনের মাঝেও সে বুইয়াটা নিয়ে এসেছে।
বাংলাদেশের টপ 48টা টিমের মধ্যে আমরা ছিলাম, এটাই আমাদের প্রিয় স্মৃতি।
এফএবিসি কোয়ালিফায়ার 4টা ম্যাচে একদম চতুর্থ যে ম্যাচটা ছিল ওটাই আমরা টোটালি কামব্যাক করি এবং 17 কিলের সাথে আমরা বুইয়া করে
রুবি আজিয়াটা 2টা সিজন খেলে ফেলেছি। এছাড়াও কোটাশপের একটা টুর্নামেন্ট আমরা টিম ইলেক্টর থেকে উইন হয়েছি।
কোটাশপের সেকেন্ড রানার আপ হওয়া এবং এফএফবিসিতে টপ 18-এ কোয়ালিফাই করা।
ফাইটের মধ্যে যদি কারোর থেকে কখনো ওয়াইপড আউট হই এবং কেন মার খেলাম এবং কেন ওরা আমাদের মেরে দিয়ে গেল, এই জন্য আমরা খুব রেগে যাই। তো ওখান থেকে আমরা ঝগড়া করি, কিন্তু আমাদের ইমপ্রুভমেন্টের জন্য।
আমাদের টিমে আমার নিউ সাব্বির যে উনি নমেচার যে টুর্নামেন্টটা কেমন, উনি সবসময় সব গেমে সেমভাবে সিরিয়াস থাকে এবং সেইটা থেকে আমি অনেক ইন্সপায়ার্ড হই এবং আমরা সবাই অনেক অনুপ্রাণিত হই।
এক্সট্রিমিক্স যে টিমটা আছে ওদের কম্বিনেশন ভালো, ওদের গেম প্ল্যান ভালো, ওরা ফাইট করতে পারে মোটামুটি ভালো। ওদেরকে আমরা মোটামুটি প্রতিদ্বন্দ্বী হিসেবে দেখতেছি।
আমার মতে এই টুর্নামেন্টের সবচেয়ে বড় প্রতিদ্বন্দ্বী হলো জব ব্রেকার্স, কারণ তাদের রিসেন্ট টুর্নামেন্ট পারফরমেন্সগুলো অনেক ভালো ছিল।
দ্য জব ব্রেকার্স, কারণ তাদের টিম কম্বিনেশন সবচেয়ে ভালো।
এত বড় টুর্নামেন্ট, এত বড় প্ল্যাটফর্মে কেউ আসলে কম না, বাট কিন্তু আমরা আমাদেরকে সবথেকে বড় প্রতিদ্বন্দ্বী হিসেবে ধরি।
তোমাদের গেমিং যে বেসিক সেটা তোমাদের ইমপ্রুভ করা লাগবে। সেকেন্ডলি যেটা তোমার টিমমেট, তোমার টিম ব্যাকআপ, তোমার টিম কম্বিনেশন সবকিছুর উপর তোমাকে জোরদার করতে হবে। আর হচ্ছে প্র্যাকটিস মেক্স এ ম্যান পারফেক্ট। সো তোমাকে বেসিক্যালি অনেক বেশি করে প্র্যাকটিস করতে হবে যাতে করে তুমি একটা স্টেজে এসে ভালো পারফরমেন্স করতে পারো।
গেমকে যদি প্রফেশন হিসেবে নিতে চাও তাহলে গেমের প্রতি ডেডিকেশন, প্র্যাকটিস অনেক বাড়িয়ে দাও, পাশাপাশি পড়ালেখাটাও চালিয়ে যেও ভালো মতো। শুধু গেম খেললে হয়তো বা নিজের ক্যারিয়ার
করার থেকে নষ্টটা বেশি হবে।
मैं डैडी स्लेट्स प्लेयर, आपका जूनियर 11th भी। आपने कोडन वॉक भेजा था क्या?
हाँ, और क्या ऑनलाइन था ही नहीं।
So I guess we are the dynamic duo.
प्रैक्टिस करता है अभी भी नूब है।
वो तो पूरी आके बाद ही पता चलेगा।
Let's not underestimate.
वैसे मेरे भी 5 kills हैं और तेरे भी 5. क्या मैंने ठीक खेला?
ये तो बुया के बाद ही पता चलेगा.
तू वेट कर, मैं देखता हूँ.
अबे रुक जा. मैंने से शुरू का कैरेक्टर जीता है. इसका फुल यूज तो करने दो.
Previously on What's Up Free Fire. Huh? What is this place? Free Fire! Welcome to Season 2. I'm back! This is our first episode of the new year, so new enhancements are in order. First up, a big one. Training Grounds Remake. This island is now bigger and better looking. A new, full-sized racing track is being constructed, allowing you to experience the thrill of speed with your friends. Now all we are missing is a super fast car. The target range is also renewed to provide more visual feedback as you hone your skills. An Esports Hall of Fame will be built beside the social zone. Get up close and personal with your favorite team and professional players. Revel in their glories as you forge your own records in the game. You know, I kind of miss Moko. Okay. But seriously though, we are the dynamic duo, don't you think? Now you can form your own dynamic duo. The new partner system allows players to form closer ties with their best buds. As you game and socialize together, your buddy meter increases. More benefits will be added soon, but feel free to tell us what features you would like to see in the comments below. Players will also get a personal name badge. Something like this, displayed in your profile page. Together with this addition is the Battle Tag. Earn it with your performance in each match. This is your badge of honor. You can also visit other players' profiles and look at their ranks, playstyles, and battle tags. Talking about buddies, a new revival mechanism will be introduced in Battle Royale. After completing a series of tasks, it is possible to bring a fallen teammate back into battle. But I must warn you, it is very challenging. You guys asked, and we delivered. The developers have heard your desire for more weapon varieties in Clash Squad. Now, popular weapons will be arranged into multiple sets and rotated as you play more games. May more choices bring more victories for you. And before we go, here's a quick look at the weapon balancing adjustments in this new patch. That's all for our Season 2 premiere. See you next time on What's Up Free Fire. Hi survivors, it's me again, Kelly! Huge thanks to all of you for the warm support to Free Fire Esports in the past years. I know all of us can't wait to find out what's next for Free Fire Esports in 2021. So today, I am very excited to share with you what we've achieved so far and what we are planning for this year. Let's start with our biggest esports event in 2020, the Free Fire Continental Series. By the way, I hope you still remember my terrific performance at the opening ceremony. We broke records with the Asia Series, where 2.5 million of you tuned in to us live. The America Series also had a peak of over 1.7 million live viewers. Meanwhile, the EMEA Series also drew in nearly 300,000 live viewers, creating new viewership records for us in the CIS and Middle East regions. Your support was absolutely amazing! The Free Fire family just keeps growing. You guys rock! The World Series, together with the rest of our tournaments, pushed Free Fire into the top 5 most watched games on YouTube in 2020. Last but not least, we won the Esports Mobile Game of the Year at the Esports Awards 2020. We are humbled by your passion and love for Free Fire Esports. This award is yours as much as it is ours. Hayato, it's your turn to talk about the World Series.
Sure. We have continuously expanded our esports outreach throughout the world, and the number of participating regions have grown massively. We started with 9 regions at our very first international tournament, the Free Fire World Cup. Over the past 2 years, our esports community has grown to include India, Russia, the Middle East, and the Pakistan regions. Our plans to grow further do not stop here. And in 2021, we'll be adding Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Philippines as competitive regions.
Yay!
Next, we're proud to present the brand new logo and format for the Free Fire World Series, our largest and most iconic tournament of the year. This year will be bigger than ever before. There will be 2 World Series in 2021. The first World Series will be taking place in Asia during April, while the second World Series will be hosted in November. In addition to these, there will be another international tournament around July. So stay tuned for the rest of the year.
In 2021, we will continue to work hard and provide more engaging esports events and content. We are excited to see Free Fire Esports grow bigger this year, and we know we can do it with you as our loyal fans. That's all for now, and we will meet again very soon in April for the World Series.
See you soon!
Hi survivors, subscribe and press the bell icon for more awesome content. See you in the next video.
ফুল স্পিডে ফুল অ্যাগ্রেসিভ রেসে কিন্তু দেখা যাক এখানে কিন্তু আরো একজনকে ডাউন করে ফেলেছে আমাদের অসাধারণ গেম প্লে ফ্রম হটশট 55।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I myself, Star Tanya, welcome you to the 8th league day for this week. And along with me, I'm going to cast with OG Dolores Chicken. I'm introducing you as the new caster, but we are all friends. And OG, please go ahead from here on.
Well, I have so much to look forward to today, Tanya. We're almost at the end of our league stages, and this is when you see a lot of teams buck up, right? So I'm expecting a lot of high-octane action of Free Fire today, and boy, are we gonna have a delight. We've had a really nice showing from the teams of Bangladesh. Their unique play style, catering to a more kill-hungry audience, is certainly a very entertaining one in that as well. But I'm really excited to see how some of these teams who are in the verge of pushing the leaderboards and almost at the verge of getting into the top 6 might stand a chance.
Yeah, but if we talk about Group A and B, who are going to battle out today, there are very certain strong teams coming from Group B. That is particularly Team Agents, and yes, we cannot forget about Jawbreakers. But if we talk about Team A, do you think Infinity is going to overtake Agents and Jawbreakers? It is not going to affect later on in the day because it is ultimately towards their own league groups. But do you have any call about Team Infinity against Jawbreakers or Team Agents?
Well, Team Infinity have shown great skill in the past few days, and they've certainly displayed a consistent version of it, right? We've also seen, I think, maybe the biggest record of how many wins you can have in a day by Team Agent, if I'm not wrong, in day 2 of the league stages. So there is certainly a lot of factors that play in for a lot of different teams, but we need to see how they can try and get a nice blend to victory. Let's have the teams right on board here, and let's see how we might be able to theory craft this, because almost every single team on display here has had phenomenal performances throughout their league stages.
Absolutely, they have. And talking about the teams, it is GB2L Esports, Mask Boys, Team Cyanide, who is very consistent as well. Team Electro, yes, they had a very electrifying performance yesterday. Team Infinity, this is this is the only team who can fight against Agents.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are definitely Team Agents EXP, and it is Ambush Esports, Extreme X's. Yes, this Extreme X's also gives sometimes a very outstanding performances. If we talk about Team Xenon, they need to charge, they need to buckle up. The Jawbreakers are breaking the jaws, definitely. They've had certain days that for whole of the day was entire day in their own name. Let's see if that is the performance that is coming from them, or are they going to show us with some more new tactics, with some more new skills. But definitely there are certain teams whom I am rooting for and I support. They are Team Agent. How can we forget? Once again, I have got very high hopes from Agents, and yes, it is Team Cyanide, from whom I expect too much alongside. So let's head towards the format of the league days, and it is right in front of your screen. There's a lot of filtering that goes through FFC mode, qualifier mode. That is where the battle to go within the league season begins. After that, there are 48 teams who reach towards closed qualifier, and over here there's a battle to find the top 18 teams. So 30 teams are eliminated here. After this, 18 teams comes, and the groups are divided: Group A, B, and C. So yes, it is just that if you are in top 2 of your own particular group, you can directly go towards the grand finals. But the bottom 12 teams are not going to be left out. They have still one chance left in their pockets, which is going to be grand finals planes. But yes, they are going to have a tough time reaching to the grand finals.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of this format, just due to the fact that you need to be the absolute best to get there. And let's quickly go ahead and take a look at the league point conversions, because this is yet again a very crucial part of the tournament, right? It also makes sure that you might be lights out on one day. Sure, if you're not able to participate on another day where you have maybe a 6th, 7th finish, it doesn't impact it all that much. It's all cumulative, and it helps divide the groups and select the best from their individual groups A, B, and C.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a beautiful league point conversion. It doesn't matter if you have 10 booyahs, 6 booyahs. Within your group, even if you have a 10 booyahs or 3 booyahs, all it matters is if you are in top 2, you directly qualify. And league point conversion is if you are having 118 or even the 3-digit numbers, 2-digit number whatsoever. If you are doing good in your group, ultimately those will be converted into 20 points. For the rank 2, it is going to be 17, 14, 10, 7, and 4. So this is how the league points will matter. Let's head towards the league standings of each and every group right here. So today it is Group A and B. We have seen how beautiful performances coming from Team Infinity, and they are Team Infinity and Electro are top 2, and yes, they have a very good chance to get an easy qualifiers from their team. But still, we do have GB2L and Team Cyanide who can fight out against them. And for Group B, I have always been repeating, it is Agent EXP and Jawbreakers. Yes, Jawbreakers can take over Team Agent, but is Team Agent going to give a easy rank 1 to Jawbreakers? That is the main question.
Yeah, the groups are certainly cutthroat, especially Group A and Group C, as there is almost nothing in terms of, especially Group C, as there is almost nothing in terms of deficit from the top 1 to 4. But you've seen that in Group A and Group B, there is a little bit of leeway, right? But Team Infinity and Team Electro do need to show more consistent performances on these last 2 days of day 8 and day 9 of the league stages. And if everything goes well and according to their plan, they'll be heading right into the grand finals. One thing that I would like to point out here is Jawbreakers. Now, we've seen them throughout the league days where they have at least one booyah on the day they do show up, and they've made it in a consistent manner, racking up 58 league points. If day 8 and day 9 goes well on them, they should be able to maintain and be on par with Agent EXP. These are some of the best teams in Bangladesh, and they're putting on quite possibly the best show we could have asked for.
Yeah, definitely. They are giving us the best show possible. But yes, there's a cutthroat competition in Group A for the top two. And for top two, I mean, there's not so much cutthroat of competition for Group B because we know them. They have a difference of 8 points. But talking about Group A, man, both top two are sharing the same scores, 88, 88 each. So the competition is going to be on another level, that's for sure. And Infinity would not let the throne out at any cost. They are going to make sure that they remain on rank 1 as they have been performing outstandingly well, not only today, not only yesterday, but throughout the tournament by far.
Yeah, so for our lovely viewers who weren't able to catch a couple of league days, who would you say are a couple of players that they have to look out for, that they need to have their eyes set straight to witness their glory?
Yeah, viewers should also have certain guesses. Viewers' interaction is also necessary. So if there is any team that you are rooting for, or you feel if there's any team who can compete Team Agents or Team Infinity from their respective groups, because ultimately the competition is between the groups, and that is the beautiful part of the tournament. You don't need to compete everyone. There is an easy qualifying towards the finals. So for now, it is the first day for the match. We're just heading over here. So viewers, all the best to the players as well as the viewers, just in case if you are predicting for any of the team that is going to take away the booyah. So yes, it is going to be Bermuda as always. And OG, to be honest, I always expect some fight brewing up in Clock Tower. Do you have any expectations or any spots for Bermuda that you do tend to expect that over here? Yeah, we can see multiple drops. We can expect immediate fight outs.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see a nice fight towards peak. I've seen a good bit of teams who are making it more of a comfort zone. Although, one thing for sure is the early fights are really brutal, especially in FFBC. These teams are really determined in taking some of these team fights early, racking up those skill points, and trying to play along with placements when it comes into maybe round 3 or round 4. But this is going to be the first round of today and an early fight already. TXB, they should be able to get a decent bit of weaponry before, and it seems like they've already committed. Hamim jumping in, assumed that he might have the range to his favor, but that's simply not the case. Luckily, backup is not far from the calling though, and now we might return to an even fight.
We might return, but yeah, there's no returning coming up. It's only Baby Girl who is just trying to go away and save himself for as long as possible. Because after losing 3 players, yes, Ali did manage to get 1 kill, but definitely Team One Man did not give any single chance to Team TXB. They had to do nothing. They had nothing to do but to run away. Yes, standing points are going to matter. Getting eliminated at position 12 is equal to 0 points. So you need to at least come in top 9 to get some of the standing points. And that is what the last person standing, Baby Girl, is going to do from here on. Though the typical play of Bangladesh players is just that they don't threat, they don't fear losing it early on, but they make sure that they tend to get some kills beforehand. And let's see what's happening at Shipyard. The fight is already on. It is going to be Ambush Esports fighting against Mask Boys. One of the players is already down. They're heading towards getting confirmed, and Naeem Alam is down.
Yeah, he does go down, and on the other side towards Mill, it's gonna be Team Jawbreakers facing it off against Mask Boys, where they find that initial kill. They will go down they will go in for that finish, and it's again a case where now the last player from Mask Boys just needs to play for placements. There is almost nothing that he can do which is on his hands.
There's nothing that they can do, but Jawbreakers having a lot of expectations, losing Naeem Alam so early on. They have got a good trade, fair trade, three kills in their pocket with losing only 1 player. But the player that they have lost is going to be Naeem Alam, which they cannot afford to lose. Let's see if Sadness is going to confirm the skill as well and eliminate the existence of Mask Boys. Yes, they do. So Mask Boys are totally eliminated on Mars Electrics. Let's expect some good performances coming from them in the future matches. But for now, Jawbreakers got a very positive trade with total total of 4 kills, losing Naeem Alam at this point of time. If we talk about Ambush Esports, they are fighting on the edge of the fence, got one of the knocker alongside. Let's see if they are going to head towards confirming the kills. Reflex is definitely going beyond his levels and confirming the kill. So for now, Ambush Esports against Team Infinity. There's Infinity losing 2 players, confirming one more kill, but this time Reflex is down.
Yeah, and the fight and range fearless, surely living up to his name as he is more than ready for the turnaround. It doesn't seem like they're anticipating perhaps a re-engagement, because we can see that Team Xenon are more than ready to try and re-engage as they have control of the hillside on Planet Station.
Yeah,
Now,
they have the control over plantation, but all you cannot see is they don't have any health kit to work out with. If they pick up the fight over here, though they have managed to get Team Zen and Antonio down, and yes, they are heading for the confirmation because there's nobody to save that player, extending himself way too far away. So for now, Team Zenon is going to try to revive him, but are they going to be successful to revive him? That is the main question.
I think they were right about might make it in time. Yeah, they should get the revive in nonetheless. On the other side, we have another wipe. This is a lot of early fights, right? This sets up beautifully for the last few circles, as now rotations can be a little more systematic. There's going to be lesser teams, so information is going to be the name of the game here. And another re-engagement, perhaps. We've seen that Ambush Esports are clearly not hesitating taking a fight, and considering the fact that Team Xenon got the revive up, it's going to be an even fight again if they do decide to duke it out. But hey, sometimes the best approach is the conservative one, where they do decide to call it off. They actually might encounter Kingsman right about any time now. And the circle, certainly not that far from their reach. The rotations, though, might be a little sweaty because you have a couple of teams just praying and gatekeeping. We all know how hard that hits you, especially when you're trying to play for better loot and try battling your way inside the circle thereafter.
They can be gatekept, but let's see, are they going to get the gatekeeping, or are they going to find a sneaky entry within the circle? At this point of time, it is Team Electro who have spotted Team One Man after eliminating an entire existence of Jawbreakers. Let's see how are they going to perform at this point. More than half HP lost over here, and it is TMZID who wouldn't want to lose a single chance to get his knock confirmed. Shuo using the Chrono Shield quite too early on in the fight. I don't think it was necessary, but somehow there's one player who's already down coming from Team Electro.
Oh, no.
Shuo is down as well. What a bad situation rising up for Team Electro, and Team One Man on the go with total of 6 kills already and totally rushing within the other 2 remaining players. And it is Clock Tower. Makes me proud as how much I like fights brewing up in Clock Tower, and that is what Team One Man has showed me. Yes, it is TMZ who is running away, save his life, and Sabit will definitely come for the cover fire.
Oh, that's so unfortunate, especially considering the fact that Electro initiated the fight. They knew exactly what's happening. Team One instant with their reaction, and they reply with kind as well, taking down 2 players, and it's left Team One in a position where they have complete control. Do they decide to let go of this fight, or do they commit? Because if they commit, there might be a risk that they lose another man. But Team Electro, you see that they're more than comfortable just running away. They as well are trying to go and play for placements thereafter. Mula, though, doesn't look like he's going to allow that. Sabit, keeping close eyes on the gate. And I hope that there's going to be a disengagement. Both teams now at a point where they need to reset.
Both they are disengaging at this point of time, but let's see how far can they go away from here, because when you know that you have advantage of number, you can take some kills. I don't think Team One Man are that kind of team who would just fall back for placement points, but yes, they are doing that though. And talking about Electro having an electrifying day yesterday, today maybe it's not a good start for them. Lost 2 players very early on, but to be honest, OG, we are just 7 minutes down the game and we have lost already 3 teams, which is just not just the general case. Fight starts to brew up after 4 to 5 minutes certainly, but it is 7 minutes and we have lost 3 teams, and there are few other teams as well which are very unhealthy, just like Team Electro, 2 players remaining, Team One Man, 3 players remaining, and talking about Team Xenon, all 4 players intact, but yes, they have not enrolled into fight as of now. They're heading towards Clock Tower, so maybe they get spotted and they engage themselves into fight, and it is Team Infinity who is aced out, the team that we talked out for in very early on, and it was the introduction. Team Infinity, we with total of 88 points, and now they're out. Oh, I am feeling bad for this team, certainly.
I mean, it's the caster's curse just hitting you, Tanya. It happens. It happens. But more importantly, we've noticed a trend where numbers play a huge picture when it comes to getting these team fights, which some of these teams, like you said, do lack, which means later on, we're going to see a couple of fights that might just be as one-sided as you could think. Al-Amin just walking into a room where he has 4 men staring at him and wondering what to do. He gets the hell out of there, but he's still being pursued. He does have his team close in proximity for backup, though, jumping left, right, center. But finally, Team 1 knock him down. What an absolute perfect start for Team 1, as they not only get that opening squad that came up against them, but their good luck and good fortune still runs. Now, Shifat trying to lay down some cover fire to perhaps bait their rotation in towards Antonio. Luckily, it still hasn't worked though. This fight still brews. Team 8 just walked past by them. Oh boy. It's getting heated. And Team 1, they're not succumbing to the pressure.
Yeah, they are not succumbing the pressure, and how the Jawbreakers using the vehicles, and they just raced out of it. They knew already that there's some strong fight going on. There's no point standing over here. We are not going to get any free kills, so it's best we race the cars and we reach. So it was a perfect move coming from Jawbreakers, because yes, they've already taken 3 kills at this point of time. Talking about Team 1 man's loser, they are good to go, holding one small compound. One good connecting grenade can damage all 3 of them, so they need to make sure they give a little bit of spread out. And talking about Team Zen, they are also trying to take a close call, except for one player who is just holding a position back there.
Yeah, it seems to be quite the fight brewing at Clock Tower. I think you got what you've asked for, Tanya.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what I asked for, and the players are listening to my prayers for sure. So now there are a total of 3 teams at this point of time. Indeed, there are 4. We can have a look at the mini-map, and there's one more team, which is going to be Agent EXP, also going to enroll in this fight. So Clock Tower is definitely going to turn into a cemetery. Let's see how many bodies are we going to get to see, or are they going to take a turn? Because talking about the circle, they need to make sure they enter the rotation, because the circle shift was way a little bit on the southern area. So they can't have the luxury to hold on to as long as they want to, until and unless zone has to force them out at some point of time, and I'm very sure of zone is going to do that.
Yeah, Team Xenon already calling it quits as they try to exit the Clock Tower, but Team Electro have kept their boots to the ground and haven't moved an inch. Similar case for both the Jawbreakers and Team 1. Like you said, it's all going to be on the circle, right? When the rotations do start coming in, that's when we see most of these engagements going out. If you're fortunate enough to not being caught off rotation, you might stand a chance to try and get the flank advantage. The Woodpecker at range, though, just knocking members left, right, center. And we also have Sabir, who's close to try and commence a push. This is getting to be quite the execution that Team Agent are going for. Ambush Esports, they need to hold off against an ambush, ironically.
Yeah, definitely. And I like the way how agents are fighting it out. They're not fighting one team. They're damaging each and every team that they are spotting. For now, they are giving a lot of damage to Team Cyanide. On the other hand, there was one more player who was trying to fight out against Ambush Esports. But then ultimately, they can also bag an advantage when 2 teams are fighting, because they're just in the center. Jawbreakers have found a different route. They don't want to engage into fights. So for now, Team Agent has the best chance to eliminate Ambush Esports. But are they going to head out for this point of time? If we talk about Arnav, with the cover of the fence, yes, he is trying to spot some enemies. He is trying to scout out basically where the exact placement of the opponents is. And Ambush Esports hold 2 players holding the fence, edge of the fence, 2 players within the squad house. Let's see how are they going to fight this situation off against Agent.
Yeah, it's been a standstill for quite a while, but with teams rotating in, it's gonna start getting explosive, because Team Cyanide, I'm not really sure if they're wary that Agent are settled in this house. Mind you, Agent have real good weaponry for both really long range, as they do have SRs, and decent close range as well, as they pack SMG and shotguns in their arsenal. Let's see if that does paint a picture.
Yeah,
a real heated affair.
this is going to be a very big affair, and now uncertainly agents are being the center of attraction for the bullets coming from both the ends. So now Team Cyanide as well as Ambush Esports is going to go hard against Team Agents. Now we already know agents have it in themselves. It is under their potential that they can fight two teams alongside, but then it's certainly all four players engaging there at one player at a time. I think it is going to be tough time. Use the chrono shield right on time. Shotguns being used here and there. One of the players from Team Agent is knocked out, and now it is Spartan who confirmed the first kill for his team, and it is the fifth kill though. Yes, it is the fifth kill, and now Encounter Fire Archive is down. So for now, Blade is taking some damage. Blade is down. Fireman Spartan trying to give the best fight possible, and let's see how long can Fire stand the firing shots coming from Team Agents.
Yeah, gets knocked right through the wall, and he didn't stand a chance whatsoever. Trying to go for a little bit in terms of heals, but being out in the open is a big no-no, as they do find the finisher on to Sabir, if I'm not mistaken. It's left Team Agent EXP with only with only one man up, if I'm not mistaken. That loss on Zisan was one to bear. He's generally the man who goes lights out in situations like these. A couple of nutty shots with the sniper all across the league days. Not much to see from him in this round one, surprisingly. But Agent still stay alive. Now they again go back, play for placements. The numbers advantage certainly starting to build though. These early kills certainly does go on and help Ambush Esports. Now with their roster being 4-man strong in this late of a zone, they have a huge advantage that they can start knocking down on the door for.
They certainly have to at this point of time. Ambush Esports, after 4 kills confirmed, after 4 kills in the bag, now they're heading towards Team Xenon. It is on Onto who has already spotted, and now he is in the cover of the fence at this point of time. Talking about GBTL, the sneakiest team by far. We did not get to see them. No fights engaged. Nothing as of now, but now I'm very sure of they are going to rush into the best way possible, and they're going to rush against Team Electro, who have already lost 2 players early on.
Yeah, this is gonna be quite the one-sided fight, as Electro need to fend off 4 players ambushing their compound. But on the other end, it's yet again another fight commenced by Ambush Esports as Fearless rocks the double vectors. Shotgun this close of a range is a very viable weapon. And are they trying to boost on top of each other here? This is a cluster. They do stand a chance of getting naded, but they are trying to mitigate it as much as possible using the chrono. Oh! This is what we wanted. The nade launcher, it just wrecks Zipu a new one. Fearless is trying to push in though with the shotgun, does finish the job off, and he's now the kill leader. What a nice sequence here for Ambush Esports, getting a couple of kills and again eliminating yet another team. GB2L rushing down the compound. This is what's left of Team Electro, trying their way to survive, skimping their way up the leaderboards, but they've still not finished the job off. The circle again continues to shrink and shrink. With so many teams alive, with 17 players alive on the server, this is gonna turn to a free-for-all fiasco.
Out of fiasco, I'm seeing there's one team who have hold on to the biggest compound available over here, and that team is none other than Team One Man, and all 4 players intact. We have seen them fighting very well. If I'm not mistaken, they had 5 kills, and if they have taken some more fights, so maybe some more. And talking about the circle, now it is right time. GB2L needs to start taking some rotations, or they might die off the blue zone, or they might get choked off the blue zone. Let's see what are their rotations going to be, because if they go right in front of Team One Man, I'm very sure Team One Man wouldn't allow any. And if we talk about GB2L Skylet getting attacked, healing himself, and now he'll definitely make sure to rush in as early as possible without getting attacked.
Yeah, but the only problem here is they're a little split. If Alpha goes down here, there's almost no backup that can come except for perhaps suppressive fire. We've seen the early fights not pan out for many teams. This is what teams like GB2L have set up for though. They've not participated in many early fights like you've said, Tanya. This is where that patience finally might pay off. Agents yet again getting yet another frag. But Ambush Esports have a good arc here in the circle where they can gatekeep both from the east and the west.
Yeah, definitely. They have the advantage of gatekeeping. Two teams at this point of time. GB2 will skylight with the best of double vector shot uses. He does get some more knocks, and now Team One Man racing into the open area. And little did they know, Reflex was already waiting for them, but now it is going to be 2v1 situation. Is Reflex going to fight it out well? He does get one knock up, and now he's counter knocked as well. So Reflex is down at this point in time. Pressure, who does definitely wants to go ahead with the max 70 shots. Let's see, is he going to confirm few kills or no? And yes, Ambush Esports managed for now, but then there's one more team who's trying to give them all the possible damage, and that is none other than GB2L Esports, not surviving enough. A total of 11 kills. Ambush Esports made it to the top tier against them. It is none other than Jawbreakers with total of 2 players remaining. So it is a 2v4 situation at this point of time.
Yeah, it's been one hell of a game for Ambush Esports. A lot of fights withstanding all odds. They've maintained that numbers advantage. This is where it's going to pay off. The nades light the sky on fire, and now comes the fire in with the shotgun. Doesn't really connect. Oh, what a game. Ambush Esports living up to their name. They're ambushing what was left of, if I'm not mistaken, that was Jawbreakers, right?
Yeah, they did. They eliminated the GB2L Esports. What a beautiful play. What a beautiful play coming from them. Yes, they did have advantage of numbers. They had 4 players intact playing for themselves. But I like the way that 2 players were knocked. They did not rush into the next fight coming up. They knew that they had to fight against one last 2 players remaining, which was none other than Jawbreakers. So yes, their name was quite too threatening already. Apart from them, they did wait for the time. They gave the patience that was required. So yes, they healed up the players. They revived their players. Players were resurrected, and then they engaged into the fight and ending up with a very beautiful booyah. And to be honest, Oji, little do you know that I enjoy double digits booyah. So this is the team. They had double digit kills, and I had my best time.
Yeah, I mean, certainly a real good performance from Ambush Esports here. One thing that you do got to commend them for is maintaining that numbers advantage. We've seen in so many cases where that one-man disadvantage does cost you a lot, but let's have a quick replay of map 1 here so we can see how a lot of these fights progressed and how Ambush Esports made their way to the end with 4 players alive. Now, this was one of the first fights that did break out. Jawbreakers does end up getting in a nice couple of kills to pad their stats, but Ambush Esports, some of their crucial plays were made in this stage. You can see that Reflex was a little low. He's more than happy to initiate because both Fresher and Fearless have real good intuition when it comes to how they back their teammate up. You never really saw anyone having the ability to take Reflex down even if they do get that knock, which is really crucial. That one man up does most often make or break the fight. Here, this fight was a little weird because TMZ had all the information. They were the ones who actually were trying and hoping they would catch Team One Man out. But Team One Man, far too experienced, knows how to revert the favor in perfection. Another fight that we assumed might go south was when Alamin just walked into a house filled with Team 1 members. Does end up paying the price for it, and Team 1, I'm hoping that they have a nice resurgence in map 2 because they almost made it, right? Rotations ended up being both their best friend and the devil's advocate there. It ended up panning against them when they did take this fight against Ambush Esports. Beautiful use of the blue walls here to try and draw a little more time. Reflex, all he had to do in this scenario was just buy them time. You can see that everybody else now is on rotation and nobody from Team 1 was ready for it whatsoever. So huge job from both Fresher and Fearless here in map 1. This is just the start, Tanya. This is just the start.
And
that's
Satya,
funny.
Yeah, and this is just the start, and the start is way too aggressive. So if this is the beginning, I don't know. I'm afraid what the ending is going to be. Ambush Esports will attack with grenade all over. It was like shower of rains, shower of grenades, and still they managed to fight, race out of this blue zone, entering the circle, and then certainly the shotgun did the final work, and a beautiful kills coming from the team Ambush Esports. So somewhere around Ambush Esports, we did see repetitively in the highlights that the players were knocked down over and over again. Every time they gave the game of patience. They gave the patience that was required to not fight out at that point of time and revive their teammates. That is what paid them off, because surviving all four players were the best of the day. Because if all four players are intact, all you can get is such a perfect booyah. Just now, what we spectated coming from Ambush.
Yeah, and we also saw real good use of utility. Their chrono shields were downright perfect. Beautiful use of the blue walls there, not only to buy cover, and it also ended up buying him a lot of time, which does, of course, help in rotations and backup. Team Infinity was a team that you highlighted in the pregame where you assumed they're going to have a really good show, but they didn't really have the best fly here on day 8. What do you think they need to do a little differently here? Because we never really saw how they worked in map 1, right?
Yeah. This is not a good start for them, but then it is Team Infinity. They turned the day in their favor by the end of the time. So I'm very sure of losing one match is not going to affect them much more than few league points, but I'm very sure of Team Infinity is not going to let it lose. And next game is going to be the Purgatory map. It used to be the play of patience, but no more it is. It is a total of aggression. So let's see where the aggression begins. Here it is. Second match for the day, which is going to be Purgatory. So are there any predictions coming from you this time around? Brasilia being the heart of the Purgatory. Do you think any landings or any kills or any fights landing up there? But unfortunate it is for Team Agent. Only 3 players have enrolled into this fight. So somewhere they are already in less on numbers. So they need to make sure that they go for the safe landing, and they are going for one. They are going for the moat house. Usually that location is for the passive play, and I'm very sure of they are going to go for the passive approach.
Yeah, I feel like what you said about Team Infinity there could stand the same for Team Jawbreakers. They always find the way to at least get maybe 1 or 2 booyahs where they do secure their placement points. So I'm having my eyes out for Jawbreakers as well. I'm ready for a nice, pleasant surprise. A lot could change though, as the ski lounge is going to be occupied by... I might see an early fight here. There is a lot of potential with the way these teams have landed. GB2L, for a fact, are real close to Extreme EX. Oh, all right. I didn't see this. 3 teams. Team Cyanide. You have Team Mask Boys and Electro landing in the same place. Now, we saw Electro struggle a bit in map 1, where they ended up making it way in the way of placements, but it's gonna be the same rinse and repeat for map 2 as well, where they're down a man early. They need to try calling in the salvage mission right now. They really need to try and take this fight and get it on their books.
Yeah, they are going to give their best possible. Central is the location. 3 teams already fighting. One of them is Mask Boys. They did get the first blood for this match, and right now all they need to do is heal up. But they don't have much of healings. It is the land and fight situation for their Nibir with left only 38 and 1 grenade. That's the zip on Nibir, and Ayon already down. Now it is all up to Bilal. Is he going to race for the safe zone, or is he trying to go save the players? And no, it is Team Cyanide who wouldn't give an easy chance away. 3 kills backed up by a keep. 1 grenade, and Mask Boys are gone. The players who took the first blood on this match, and now it is going to be fight against Team Electro. Team Electro have lost 1 player already, so now they are left with only 3 players to work with, whereas Team Cyanide with total of 4 players intact, and with the aggression they are going ahead. I'm afraid for Team Electro, are they going to survive from here on? Because last man standing from Mask Boys is definitely going away for the placement points from here.
The Chrono Shield deployed, instant turnaround. Shivo finds that crucial frag. The double vectors, real effective at this range, now used against him. Pardon, giving him the taste of his own medicine. Fireman trying to lay down some cover with that LMG, does take down Zid to about half HP. But Team Electro yet again disengaged. The only difference here being is they're in the middle of Central. There's almost no way that they can escape without Team Cyan even knowing where they're going. So yeah, Team Cyanide are definitely gonna have their eyes eager to finish the job off, and it's gonna be how many numbers that Team Electro can snap away from Team Cyanide.
But with the rage that Team Cyanide is moving ahead, I'm afraid Team Electro doesn't stand a chance. But let's see, they tend to get electrified any moment. But at this point of time, the car is getting blasted. It is Molla who is not getting a bit of threatening. Gar is blasted already and he gets down. It was the riskiest move, not expected coming from Team One Man's Molla. To be honest, these are the players who decide and play, but somewhere it is Team X. Team X's would not give them an easy chance. Molla getting eliminated quite too early on. And yes, though they are not the first team to get eliminated, but I'm afraid it is going to be Team Electro. They might get eliminated because it is partnered with the double vector. Stab it down with Fireman, and the kill is confirmed as well. So now it is all up to last man standing, which is Spartan. 1v4 situation is already on here, and I'm very sure of it. If he doesn't race us out of here, Team Cyanide will definitely eliminate this team.
He's just praying and hoping that they overlook him. Let's find out if that works, because they certainly know that the last member has to be at least somewhere around the corner. And yeah, Zed did not survive for any longer. The double vector is far too broken. Double vectors is something that I'm really starting to enjoy, Tanya. It's something that forces you to use your utility, right? The only way you can put the double vector to good use is if you are in close proximity, right? So it forces you to be decisive with how you use both your chrono shield, because it gives you both cover and movement speed along with the blue walls.
Yeah, it is definitely. Double vector is indeed a shredding machine. If you get into the contact within very close range, it is the perfect weapon that you must be using. So yes, if you're using double vector, beware, because you are not getting to stand a chance until and unless you have a double barrel shotgun, because shotgun does the deal like one shot, one knock. So if it is a war between double vector and a double barrel shotgun, I'm very sure of shotgun might stand a chance up to 40%, but though double vector has 100% of chance. Agents is all by himself, sharing the grounds with all 4 players intact, coming from Ambush Esports. We have seen them ambushing the entire map, and this time around, are they going to go ahead with the same process? Because we know agents are stuck with 3 players at this point in time. Fighting shots are on, and this time they're trying to fight one of the player, which is going to be Jamil. Right now, he's using chrono shield, he's using blue walls as well. How long can he survive, though? 4 players are rushing at one single man. Jamil is going to have a very hard time.
Yeah, Zasan is trying to cover from above. Oh, the close range. We've seen how vectors can abuse this range and be as effective and as potent as any other gun. And boy, oh boy, that early man loss. Ambush Esports still maintaining all 4 players. This is just Ambush Esports consistent with their approach, both on map 1 and now here on map 2 as well.
Yeah, definitely. Their consistency is going to pay them a very big reward. We haven't seen it. This was the team which we did not discuss about. Now I'm very sure of in the coming days we are going to talk about Ambush Esports over here. Kunok spots one of the players from Ambush Esports and entirely eliminates. Now they have come down to 3 people. No, they have come down to 4 players. They eliminated some other player at this point. Kunok getting down, and it is Fresher who is using the perfect SKS shots coming. He wouldn't stop anytime sooner. He is going with the same engagement over and over again, and I think Fresher would not give any. He's going to make stale each and every member coming opponent to them, and Runok is down as well. He gets confirmed, and they have total of 3 kills in their bag. So 2 coming from this team, 1 man, and 1 coming from Team Agent. I would say the perfect planning going on over here, eliminating the strongest team first and then fighting out the easier ones later.
They're in prime position as well, because it's almost completely open land except for a couple of houses, right? If you're able to try and keep a couple of teams where they will not be able to rotate, you essentially hold all the cards, where the circle then has to do the rest of the work. Of course, Team 1 trying to rotate out, but Ambush Esports just barraging them with bullets. This is not the start that Team 1 expected. Oh, the return! The double vectors. We just can't stop talking enough about them. Jawbreakers get that crucial kill, but more importantly, Ambush Esports know exactly where Jawbreakers are playing from. Not only do they know exactly where they're playing from, but they're also given the perfect vantage point to try and lay down true hell on the farmland.
Yeah, they are trying it and they are holding such a position where they can spot any enemies. And at this point of time, Jawbreakers not wanting to rush any fights. Yes, they have taken 1 kill at this point of time, but still they wouldn't want to rush. There's nothing that can force them to fight because they are within the circle, as we got to see the map area real soon. So yes, all they got to do at this point is hold them. And if there's any team coming in, then they need to take fights. So Jawbreakers, after not getting the booyah, they're going for a little more. We cannot say it entirely passive because yes, they did battle one of the players previously. So all they're trying to do is not force themselves taking any fight, picking up fight which might give them any sort of loss. So this time they are playing for all pluses coming in terms of kill, in terms of standing points and everything possible.
Yeah, Jawbreakers being the team that we highlighted in the pregame for Map 2, I did expect to see them being more than well placed in this matchup. And hey, they're sitting right in the middle of the circle, right? They're gonna soon find themselves sandwiched between Ambush Esports and Team Infinity. The only difference being that Team Infinity have no clue whatsoever that Jawbreakers are right around the corner. The only difference here is, are Jawbreakers going to take advantage and try capitalizing on this fact? Because it's going to be a head-on collision. And everything in my head just screams a Jawbreaker victory right now.
Yeah, even I'm feeling that they are in such a position. And once again, zone is also in their favor. Now it is Team Infinity whom they have to fight it out. And yes, both the teams are quite well prepared. One with the cover of the shack and other with the cover of a small compound right in front of them. But the situation for Team Infinity is that one grenade might entirely eliminate, just like Team Electro had to struggle with this one grenade coming and then 3 players getting knocked out. And it was a good one indeed, but not for the players, not for the Team Electro. So if Team Infinity is deciding on to holding on one small compound, they are holding themselves within the threat of one grenade coming up from Sadness, because we know Jawbreakers, the precision of aim that they possess, if they decide to get one damaging grenade, they might go ahead with that. But before grenade, they are going for the shots coming from the org, and yes, they are also delivering some sort of damage. Opponents have used chrono sheets for now, but how long can they survive? That is definitely going to be a question. One player down. No, they're not down yet. They're fighting for life at this point of time. Santo finally gets knocked down. It does speak this time. It's trying to pick up the shot with double vector, shreds apart our opponents, and aware this is last man standing from the opponents. The existence of Team Entity is non-existent. Total of 5 kills, no players lost, not even a single knock. So Team Infinity it's not there. It's not their day. Ultimately, it's not the day. First match, they got eliminated early on. Second match, without taking in any kills, they are getting eliminated. I'm afraid Team Infinity needs to make sure they come up with the better performances in the next matches around.
Yeah, and you can see how insane that play was as well, right? Jawbreakers, they called in a YOLO. They're like, cool, you two take the car, we're going to provide cover. They rush in, and how did they manage to just dismantle that? Ambush Esports, like we presumed, are leading the charts with 25 kills, closely followed by Jawbreakers, who we did highlight prior. Team One Man have been consistent as well, who have landed 15 points. Team Cyanide, they did play reasonably well in Map 1, but I'm itching to see how Cyanide end the day off, because we both know that Team Cyanide, Agent EXP, GV2L are more inclined to play better when they're completely warmed up, right? And we just started the day with so much action. There is so much more yet to come.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. We are on the second match for the day. Let's see how far can they go. But right now, I'm afraid they can't go any further. It is UA viewers exposed two teams that are Team Xenon. Against them, it is going to be none other than Ambush Esports, ambushing each and every team coming their way. Let's see what is the Fearless's viewpoint of view at this point of time, using snipers. And if he gets to spot one of the team, he is going to go Fearless. And talking about Fearless, he was the player of the match, man of the match in Bermuda. Let's see if he's going to head through the same consistency. 6 kills, OG. It's not an easy job.
It's not an easy job, and considering that he got most of the kills while supporting his teammates, it's a thing of beauty. It's usually Fearless and Fresher who play more of a supportive role, at least what I've seen in Map 1, where they facilitate that push and they make sure that the player pushing, even if he does get knocked, he's going to be safe and be ready to get picked up. On the other end, Jawbreakers commencing yet another fight. They've had a flying start here in Map 2, already racking up 6 kills. Now it's about how much more. And they're against Team Cyanide out of everybody, who's been having the slow start. But if they manage to turn the tables on this one, it could be much more than what they can ask for. The push coming in as Freak tries to rush in with the double vectors yet again, but This time it ends up working in reverse, where almost the entirety of Jawbreakers are getting knocked down. It's all left on a Niamalam, who does have an AUG, pulls up the shotguns, knows it's going to be close range, trying to make a run for the hills. He does have one blue wall at his disposal. Is he going to go the zip line? Yeah, no, he isn't. It's going to be, it would have left him far too exposed. He does have the circle playing in his favor, however. So if he does manage to get his way out of here and avoid ambush Esports thereafter, he could play for placements, but that seems to be too far-fetched already.
That definitely is too difficult at this point of time. With 4 HP kits with him to work out, he can go ahead for the placement point. All he got to do is play sneaky and not expose himself to any other team. And if he does, it is going to be ambush Esports. It is going to be a 4v1 situation. Let's see what situation is here, because I do see 3 teams on the minimap. One of them, Extreme X's, they are trying to fight against Team Xenon. Team Xenon are trying to cross the bridges. It is never too easy to cross a bridge when you know that there's one more team standing there on the opposite side of the bridge. And yes, it is the grenades coming here and there. There is an exchange of grenades. It is Kazi who's trying to take the jump and shot. Is it going to be successful? Kazi taking some damage and gets down on his knees. And the proper players definitely they could not. I was just talking about he needs to get up on his feet to fight it out. But then it is team Xenon who did not give an easy chance. So now Extreme X's with 1 kill, though they're left with 3 players to play with.
Yeah, those teams who are trying to rotate a little late now have the disadvantage of being in a potential sandwich without them even knowing. That's exactly what happened to Team XB right there. Let's hope that Team XB are now able to get in a good position as the circle shrinks. They need to try finding a way to potentially throw a curveball and get Team Xenon to commit to a fight where later they can try and emerging victorious. The Chrono Shields are down already. Meme laying down a couple of bullets here and there. He's relying on his team to try and force the issue, though. Shifat does get the kill in return, keeping his team in it to win it. Team Xenon having the numbers advantage for now. 7-7 MD. Is he gonna try and succumb to this is the question. The Chrono Shield allows him to get that kill up close and personal. I'm not sure if Shafat is looting or getting cover there, but he does end up pushing the line. He's walking outside the zone. Almin taking shots from the high ground, and 7-7 MD actually managed to escape. Oh no! It's a disaster for Team Xenon! Oh boy, this is not how you expect them to play in this position where they've been camping, right? This is what they build up to. This is where they need to come in online, and sadly, that's not the case here in Map 2.
That is sadly the case, and it is not working in their favors. They need to give up some. They need to pick some trick coming in their sleeves, because this is definitely not going to work in near future as well. So Extreme X is getting eliminated at position number 6. If we talk about Ambush Esports, after 5 kills, they have not engaged into any fight. But the best part is they are into the center of the circle. So for now, they have the advantage of hard cover. They have the advantage of zone, and they have the advantage to gatekeep each and every team that might get to get. They might get to get an entry, and they are going to make sure they don't give easy entry to anyone. There's one team which is TXB who are trying to join in the center, but once again they are trying to gatekeep it in at best possible way. It is Ali just with the cover of small haystack. How long can he survive there? Yes, a Chrono Shield has been used, but it is deployed quite too early on. It is reflex. With his best reflexes, he's trying to get the players knocked down. Unfortunately, he's not able to get one. The glue walls is saving the players as long as possible. So for now, Team XB definitely has those resources, but for how long can they do that?
Yeah, the best part about Ambush is they have real good position. Now it's gonna be contested by Cyanide, but Ambush Esports have had a very consistent portfolio of maintaining both the position and the man advantage. Now, a lot of teams out in the open. This is one of the only house that's even in the circle. So that's already a huge advantage going Ambush Esports way, as now they pick and choose which fights they want to participate in and which they want to third party and potentially try finding a cheeky kill into. They are trying to get a little bit of a pincer on Team XB, who's fighting both the circle and Ambush Esports from cover, but it's given room for Xenon to sneak close range. Mind you, Team Xenon has shotguns and double vectors, which are all lethal. Oh, the nade, the chrono deployed. Is it gonna be good enough though, is the question. It's yet to go off.
Yeah, definitely. Are they going to survive here against them? It is Team Cyanide and the Team Xenon as well. So now the position which I was talking, that they are in best of the places to gatekeep all other teams. But unfortunately, now they are the center of attraction of bullets getting showered from all three directions. At this point of time, Reflex is trying to spot it out. One of the players from them also has a grenade launcher, but they don't know where to use those ammos and which exact direction. So for now, TXB team is already out of the play, and it is the UAV spoiling the fun. We playing the spoil sport, exposing each and every player. Ambush Esports, as always, all four players intact, fearless, going fearlessly on the window pane and trying to get as much knocks as possible. But he falls down, Reflex is down, Pressure is down as well, and now he goes for the double barrel shotgun, and he did get one knocker, counter attack, gets knocked down. It is all up to now Godspeed. Which speed can he go on to? Which speed does he possess? Team Cyanide needs to make sure they survive here. It is
Circle.
1v1 situation. Godspeed versus
What a play!
Team Cyanide. Team Cyanide took that away, stole that away, snatched that away from the hands of Ambush Esports. It was definitely Ambush Esports who had the best of locations, best of circles, best of players. Team Cyanide rushes in, manages the way within their barn house and completely shreds them apart. And it is the booyah, which was hardly earned coming from Team Cyanide.
I mean, that was quite the ending there, where we assumed Ambush Esports with the best position in that last circle, having everything they need, double vector, shotgun, name it. They had everything in their arsenal for victory. But the last few seconds there were chaotic. In fact, if it was Refresh, right, who was using the grenade launcher, he blew himself up. The backup from Fearless, although being a little late, he does do his best in way of getting that one knock.
Yeah.
The circle just ends up playing against Ambush Esports in the circumstance. And Cyanide, they held in the ground floor for so long. Let's just quickly go through the replays, because I'm itching to see how that final fight brewed up. This was the initial fight that we did see. Again, a real fly start for Team Cyanide. These initial few kills will go well along with the booyah they just earned with all earnesty. And Electro, again, not with the best of starts. We need to see Electro maybe played a little more conservative in map 4 and 5. At least I'm hoping that that's the route they take, because that's how you stay as consistent as some of the best out there.
Yeah, you have to play the game of consistency, and consistency is definitely key to the success in such battle royale games where you not only have to fight the standing points, skill points, ultimately you also need to make sure you get those league points. At this point of time, Team Cyanide definitely started to pick up some kills, and they went in the favor. This is the beautiful play. Akib, how can we forget the one grenade that knocked out 3 players of the Team Electro Team Agent? Though they could not perform their best, because we know what they possess. We know they place very easily. Maybe this is not a good match for them. No, not a good day for them. This is just the beginning, though. In future plays, we might see some mighty plays coming from Team Agent, because yes, they are mightiest of all at this point of time. Talking about Team Infinity, they are also not in that such geared up pattern which they usually are. Let's head back towards Jawbreakers. Yes, they did rush within the barn house of the opponents and trying to make sure eliminating the players. They did confirm the kill over here.
This is a big play,
yeah, this was a very big play where Team Infinity, using all the glue walls, all the chrono shields, every resources and utilities they had, for the defensive system, everything was stuck up. But then Jawbreakers rushes in. Not even a single player now gets knocked down, and Infinity gets early on elimination.
Yeah, I love this play from Jawbreakers, because they went aggressive without a moment's notice, right? I don't think anybody expected that play, and Jawbreakers' way of being unpredictable is it's quite hard. This requires a real heads-up thought, which Jawbreakers certainly did deliver, but not getting the booyah ultimately. Jawbreakers, another team that we did mention, who might be a potential threat as the day prolongs. So a real good performance from here in map 2, waiting to see how they perform in map 3 and 4, because I feel like they're setting themselves up for success. This is one of the more unfortunate fights, though. It didn't end up working on either team's favor. Neither did it work for Team Xenon or Team Extreme X, where they just went away with the trade and didn't get any knocks or anything thereafter. Fearless did his very best, thus lay down cover as well, but maybe a little too late. Godspeed, double vectors are a thing of beauty, but up against so many blue walls, he just didn't find any way of getting it done, and the circle just working in Team Cyanide's favor. A real good display from Team Cyanide. And this again comes to show that in a country like Bangladesh, almost every player has the chance to make it big. Team Cyanide with a big booyah, and now we'll get a big buff in the placements as well.
Yeah, they are going to get a very good big buff. The reason is Team Cyanide definitely performed yesterday so well. And this was the team I said I expect a lot coming from them. And they are up to my expectations. And I'm very thankful about that. So, second booyah backed up by them.
Yeah, second booyah backed up by them. Who are some people you want to see go off? Because we've had a real nice couple of days here in the league stage, and this is the ending, right? We've mentioned that this is the stage where some of these teams are going to come in clutch to try and get in the top two, try and get their way to the grand finals as soon as possible, negate as much risk. So whom are you personally looking forward to seeing today, Tanya?
I was expecting about team agents, and I wouldn't deny that. I've already expected them. It has not been a good day for them. So, yes, maybe in future matches, we do see some outshining performance coming from them. But before that, I would like to say, guys, have a small break, grab yourself popcorns, and yes, drink alongside. We will be right back for the future 4 matches for the day. So, yes, be right back.
It's me again, Kelly! Huge thanks to all of you for the warm support to Free Fire Esports in the past years. I know all of us can't wait to find out what's next for Free Fire Esports in 2021. So today, I am very excited to share with you what we've achieved so far and what we are planning for this year. Let's start with our biggest esports event in 2020, the Free Fire Continental Series. By the way, I hope you still remember my terrific performance at the opening ceremony. We broke records with the Asia Series, where 2.5 million of you tuned in to us live. The America Series also had a peak of over 1.7 million live viewers. Meanwhile, the EMEA Series also drew in nearly 300,000 live viewers, creating new viewership records for us in the CIS and Middle East regions. Your support was absolutely amazing! The Free Fire family just keeps growing. You guys rock! The World Series, together with the rest of our tournaments, pushed Free Fire into the top 5 most watched games on YouTube in 2020. Last but not least, we won the Esports Mobile Game of the Year at the Esports Awards 2020. We are humbled by your passion and love for Free Fire Esports. This award is yours as much as it is ours. Hayato, it's your turn to talk about the World Series.
Sure. We have continuously expanded our esports outreach throughout the world, and the number of participating regions have grown massively. We started with 9 regions at our very first international tournament, the Free Fire World Cup. Over the past 2 years, our esports community has grown to include India, Russia, the Middle East, and the Pakistan regions. Our plans to grow further do not stop here. And in 2021, we'll be adding Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Philippines as competitive regions.
Yay!
Next, we're proud to present the brand new logo and format for the Free Fire World Series, our largest and most iconic tournament of the year. This year will be bigger than ever before. There will be 2 World Series in 2021. The first World Series will be taking place in Asia during April, while the second World Series will be hosted in November. In addition to these, there will be another international tournament around July. So stay tuned for the rest of the year.
In 2021, we will continue to...
Good evening, Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. My name is Ranjit Mamba Sina Patel, and alongside me I have, well, one of my favorite co-casters to work with, someone who's always zesty, and more so than I am most of the times. But, well, she is Star Tanya. Tanya, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and yes, I warmly welcome you. So it is always pleasure to cast with you. And I would want to say something before the matches start, Mamba. I and OG had a small conversation about from which teams am I expecting much that might show up on the screen. But unfortunately, I did not get to see Team Infinity with the Booyah, neither Team Agents. Indeed, I'm seeing some other teams from which I did not expect. Personally, it was Ambush Esports taking away the first Booyah for the day. Yes, Cyanide is being consistent from yesterday, so they are taking it a little more than serious for the final league week. So Team Cyanide took away the Booyah. So what are your expectations? Are we not going to see Team Agents anywhere into the Booyah section? Because we still have 4 matches to go. So Jawbreakers, Agents, Infinity, they are not taking away any Booyah, though being consistent enough, but certainly not so satisfactory play.
That is true. It's not been satisfactory. But then again, it's only been 2 matches. So, sure, they are off to a bad start. But then again, we can't really predict how the next 4 matches will. Maybe once we go through the next map, we'll understand how they're faring out and how the mentality has changed. But then once again, we've had a very brief break. So, things can turn around. But talking about the map recap, talking about the first games, Bermuda and Purgatory, we had Ambush and Cyanide get those booyahs. But talking about the obvious choices like Agents, for example, I guess I'll give them a little more leeway, let them get through Kalahari first and see how it all turns out. Because see, Purgatory, once again, is not a map that I really count in terms of consistent results, because it's just been one of those games, for me personally at least, because I've seen a lot of Purgatory matches. And more often than not, I see teams getting booyahs, which we did not expect. But this time around, it's different, sure. But I think I'm going to wait till round 3 is done to try and, maybe extrapolate their performance, how the day is going to go for them.
Yeah, Kalahari is definitely the leaderboard changer and strategy changer. And add up to that, I always say Kalahari has the curse of circle shifts, because this is the map which has the worst circle shifts. So let's see if the shifts are going to be in plus for someone or negative for someone. So we will tend to see once the spread outs are seen coming from the flight paths. So yes, maybe we'll predict a little early or later on, because it's quite too early. 2 matches down, but still, I always hype up certain players, hype up certain teams, and my expectations tend to rise quite too early. So let's see what does Kalahari hold for these teams.
We'll see what Kalahari does hold for these teams, and we are going to hop right on the match in just a couple of seconds, Tanya. But then once again, I want to wish all the best to all the teams playing this matchup, because this week is not going to be easy. It is going to be very taxing. And then again, it is week 3, if you think about it. So this is where teams do or die. This is where you qualify, you don't. And you fairly have an idea about which other teams will most likely make it. So the first team in all the 3 groups are more or less secure in terms of the qualification. But the teams from 2nd to 4th can still battle it out. But talking about the plane path, it is a little to the right side, but nothing so fancy. I think all the teams are going to have the draws within an arm's reach.
Yeah, definitely. They are trying to reach, but something that caught my eye is the highest resource zone. 2 teams are already there. One of them is Agent EXP. Against them, it is going to be Team XB. So one of the team might get eliminated. And this time around, I don't want Agents to get eliminated so early on. Let's see if Agents are able to bring up some trick from this leave, or this time around, once again, are they going to get eliminated so early on? Because we've seen some good performances coming from Baby Girl in the first match for the day, which was Bermuda. He or she whatsoever did survive as long as possible. And the fighting shots are on already.
Yep, the fighting shots are on already. And, well, it is a command post. We expect a lot of fights to happen over here. You talk about Baby Girl. She's going to try and push in, maybe get a couple of kills for herself. But then once again, she only has an AK. Short range, it's difficult to use. Freak in the meantime is going to find a frag for himself. And Zisan... Zisan actually got a knock with the landmine. Now, I don't know if you noticed that, but he actually got a knock with the landmine.
I definitely missed that. I would want to see that during the highlights. So yes, somewhere around, my prayers are heard. Agent EXP is winning away this fight with a total of 4 kills. Yes, they did lose 1 player. It's okay, losing 1 player, gaining 4 kills. But let's head towards Old Hampton, where 2 teams are already fighting. One of them, Team Electro, did outshine yesterday, but they need to make sure the consistency remains intact. Team Infinity, who is one in their respective groups, they need to make sure they fight out. This is the team that I was looking out for most, and this is the team that is not giving the best of possible fights from them.
It's true, but if you talk about Akib, he's going to try and take a couple of shots, has a Sparse 12 to work with, and that's a very good shotgun. At that range as well, it's deadly. You have Nibir using the P9, you're trying to get the first knock. He does get, he gets a second as well, so Cyanide, a team which actually had Booyah, is struggling a lot over here, and Mask might just walk away with the initial opening, unless Nibir overcommits and overstretches himself and falls down, but gets the first knock, going to find the second. No, he cannot. Does dish out a lot of damage though. Jibon and Bilal need to push in. They can't wait. They cannot wait anymore, because the more time they give to the opposition, the more time they will have to get themselves in a better position. And Nibir is going to fall. He is going to get eliminated. Adion is not going to be revived. It all comes down to a 2v2 now. And 2 men versus 2 men. Let's see how this all turns out. But Jibon is not going to waste a single moment. He's going to find the frag on a blade, making sure he finishes him off. And Cyanide, they're going to fall back a little, trying to get in a better position. But then once again, they don't have a lot of HP to work with. Neither do they have any first aid kits. So it's going to be difficult for sure. And I remember when, the character meta was a little different when Alok was used a lot, where you could at least heal your teammates. But given the fact that, Chrono is something that all of these guys use, it doesn't really work out that well, does it?
Yeah, that doesn't, because the players used tend to had a very slow rotation. They knew they could revive, but let's see if Shuo is going to get revived over here. Oldhampton, we are headed back over here. Shuo gets eliminated, so now Team Infinity may be picking up the form, getting the first frag for themselves. Nobin left with very low HP to work with. Grenades getting, and is it going to connect? No, it did not connect. It was a sad miss coming from Sabit.
Well, that is true, but talk about Electro. They've lost out on a player, but Shuo, then again, he's been one of those guys which, if he pops off, he's going to pop off. But if it doesn't, then it's going to be a struggle for him to stay alive. But all in all, Electro is still a very decent team, and they are in a okay position because they might just actually fight against Infinity. Sabit has high ground and a pretty decent loadout as well. So it's just a matter of time. It's a game of patience. And the team that runs out of patience first is probably going to get eliminated, because both of these teams are in really, really good positions. They talk about JB as well. We have Naeem Alam. Look at him with a sniper. Actually, the SK is just staying on top. I like that outfit. Every player is probably in the same outfit, and that's confusing for a lot of players when you're playing against them. We're going to have a look at the scoreboard and see where do the teams stand. Ambush Esports with 42 points on top, Cyanide with 35, and Jawbreakers with 25 on the third position. But if you look at the bottom three, Tanya, that's a big, big difference.
Yeah, indeed. Bottom 5, all with single digits. They need to make sure they do something over here, because now only 4 matches to play. And yes, this is the first day, though. The first day, they still have one chance for tomorrow. But why waste the chance if you have it today? They need to make sure they do something very good. If you talk about Ambush Esports, Mamba, they were the leaderboard toppers in the previous leaderboard this time again, but with a very good difference this time. Total of 42 points. Team Cyanide, though, they are climbing the way up. They were on rank 4. Now they are on 2. So the team that I was expecting, they are performing definitely, and let's hope their enthusiasm for playing goes with the same rhythm, because if they follow the same rhythm, same performances, they might get into the top 2, because this is the top 2 matters a lot. Ultimately, it is all up to top 2 who are going to get an easy qualification for the finals. So it doesn't matter if you get 7 booyahs, 6 booyahs, but if what matters is, even if you don't get booyahs, you're getting some kills, you're getting some points, you're getting some placements, decent amount of placement points, you might still qualify. And that is what Team Cyanide is doing since yesterday.
Yep, that is true. That is what Team Cyanide is doing from yesterday, and it's been working out for them. If it does work out for them, it doesn't matter. What? Kingsman? Oh man, that's just unfortunate. Honestly, that's just so unfortunate. And there's a word in Hindi. It's called tapli, and that is exactly what happened to him. Tapli baja ke the player just went away. You know when you get a punch or a slap in the back of your head, and you just don't expect it. That is what happened. So. Well, that was quite unfortunate. I'm not sure if there was a network error or something else that did not work out, or they just triggered that they threw their phones away. But all in all, just a very surprising encounter. But Jawbreakers, they have a kill. All the players alive as well. And the good thing is, it's been a while. There have been a lot of players which have been eliminated, but they are not one of those teams which have lost out on a lot of players. So it's going to be interesting to see. And one thing that I noticed, Tana, all the time is when we have a lot of teams live, but a lot of teams with very few players alive. So in this case, we have 11 teams and 27 players alive. Ideally, you'd have 44 players. And now, fine, 10 teams, 26 players. On an average, each team only has, 2 or 3 players. And if you have the man advantage, if you have the entire squad surviving until the last circle, or maybe the last couple of circles, it's a clear advantage. It's definitely a clear advantage.
Yeah, definitely. The more the men, the merrier the fight. So this is what they are trying to do. And talking about merrier, I like these ballerinas outfit these guys are wearing. Let's see how are they going to do the jump and shoot action with such pretty frocks that they are wearing. And if they are standing tall in this pattern, yes, they are looking beautiful with all the anger, all the fights that they are playing through. So yes, I should not be diversifying the topic towards the fashion studio. Let's head back towards the fight. I don't see any fight coming against or with Jawbreakers. Losing one player, fair trade. They did get one kill. And talking about Refinery, there's only one team at this point of time, which is Extreme EXs. I don't see they are also going to engage into any fight any sooner.
they're not going to engage into any fight any sooner. That is true. But then again, if you talk about EXE Kazi, look at him. He's just rallying his teammates around, and they're in the open. Sure, a little bit of cover here and there, but all in all, they're safe. They don't have to worry about anything else either. And they're having a merry time. But look at that UAV, which might just be a problem. They are one of the players inside the UAV's area of effect, but apart from that, they're not going to get any additional information. That is what you want to do as well. Just have one player in and try and get as much information as you can about the whereabouts of the opposition. But UAV has been destroyed. For now, 9 minutes into the game, 10 teams, 24 players. A lot of teams who are the number of players which are surviving over here.
Yeah, definitely. They are trying to play the game of survivors, which is not the general play of Kalahari. They try to rush in the play. Talking about the play, we are towards the Team Cyanide's man of the match, player of the match, which is none other than Cyanide Spartan. He has taken 1 kill for now. He did take 6 kills, so some 6 is the number for after the first match. The man of the match also had 6 kills this time around as well. The highest tragger is total of 6 kills. And yes, they did win away the Booyah, but this time around, I'm seeing some sad play. 2 players are already down. They are risking the play. They are playing it on the edge of, not on the edge of the circle, but on the edge of the zone. So once they start to rush in, let's see how they're going to be successful enough, because there's also one more team, which is Team Zenon, who is going to race out for the safe zone as well. Are they going to cross the paths though?
Well, whether they're going to cross the paths or not is something only time will tell us, and we'll figure that out in a bit. But I do love to see fights. This time around, we saw a lot of early fights, and that's one of the other reasons why I like Kalahari so much, especially if you land at command post and you have multiple teams landing at command post. They will not shy away. And you won't believe this, Tanya, but there was this one tournament which I was casting last year. Same map, and it was probably the last game of the day, or last game of the tournament or something, if I remember it correctly. Fourth zone, team spotted out at the command post. We literally had a Booyah winner in the 4th zone. Can you imagine that?
Oh, that is quite too early. That means the game of aggression, Kalahari gives you that rage, because yes, it is a desert area. There does get heated up, but I have never witnessed, so it would be my pleasure if something such pops out on the screen. But before that, there's a fight popping out. Skylight has spotted one of the player coming from Team Electro, and yes, they did confirm one of the kill teams. It's still surviving with the cover of the bridge. Let's see how long can he survive, because if we talk about Agent EXP, and I'm afraid this is GB2L Esports, yes, not so consistent today, but maybe this might be the game changer, the map changer for them.
This could definitely be the game changer, the map changer for them, and it changes the entire momentum of the tournament, because see, it's not just one team that you're talking about, especially in a battle royale format. If one team makes a mistake, that leads to a lot of outcomes. And this is literally the definition of the butterfly effect. Like, imagine a butterfly just fluttering its wings on the other part of the planet. And on the other hand, you have some massive outcome. Now, one team deciding to go aggressive, taking on one of the table toppers, that changes the entire balance of the game. So you never know how things might turn out. This is multiple possibilities. But in the meantime, Tio, for now, they're taking a fight. They're actually going to win the fight against Ambush Esports. So Ambush, the team to get the Booyah in the first map, is going to be the team to be eliminated at position 10. So today, results have been all over the place, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely they have. The team that win away the Booyah with such a massive difference, and now they were the leaderboard. They were on the top of the leaderboard after round 2 as well. But unfortunately for them, they are not going to stand out so well after this performance. Let's see what is Shifat up to, holding Max 7 in his hand, and against them it is going to be Team Cyanide. Team Cyanide has also lost one of the players quite early on. Let's see how the fight is going to go. It is between 2 versus 3. Definitely man-to-man advantage lies in the hands of Team Spartan, and I don't see the third player though coming from Team Cyanide. So they've lost 2 players. So it is a perfect neck-to-neck fight that we are going to see. It is going to be 2v2 situation. Shifat definitely trying to use the grappling hook gun to get the best location where he can spot the enemies, but unfortunately he spotted and knocked down.
Yep, that is true. And if you talk about Shifat, for now he's surviving, but he needs to go in because his owner is going to push him out sooner or later. But just trying to stay alive as long as possible. He does have a shotgun to work with the Max 7, a solid curve being called in. The crate, more often than not, it actually works as cover than getting you the drops. So Shifat being very smart over there with his utility and the positioning that he has, but he needs to move in for sure. Team Infinity is going to be eliminated at position number 9. And that is something we talked about earlier on as well. INF, not in the best position. Kazi, along with his teammates, in a decent spot, but they need to move in as well. But look at that though, the nade launcher coming into play. Is it going to do any damage? I don't think so. TMZ actually, with the Woodpecker getting a knock for himself. And Kazi and the boys just trying to stay alive for as long as possible. I think that is what the goal is.
That is what the goal is. You try to survive as long as possible and pick the fights which you can win it out. But they need to choose it wisely, because for now the grounds are being shared by several teams. One of them is Extreme X's with 3 players left. And if we talk about one more team, they are sharing the upper grounds. There are 2 teams indeed. Those are sharing the upper grounds. Team Zenon getting eliminated at position 8. Team Extreme X is trying to enter the circle. They waited way too long to enter the circle, wasting time around, luring themselves in finding the safe spot, which did pay them very bad. And now there's a cluster of teams that can be spotted out in such a small circle. And Hamim knocked down. Still there's one player from Team Extreme X's who is trying to flank an easy way entry, but Alpha wouldn't let go. Very easy on him, showering some grenades, and those grenades are definitely, that shower is not of love, that is for the revenge, because yes, GB2L was once eliminated by Team Electro.
That's true, buddy. Talk about GB2L. They have 4 kills. They lost out on one player, but they're still in a decent position. 3 teams and 8 players. So I think they have a very good opportunity over here to convert this into a booyah because of their positioning. Number one, the zone is favoring them. They have a lot of cover to work with. And just the confidence wave that they're riding upon. So Naeem Alam just trying to get some information, jumping up. Maybe he can spot something, maybe not. But he definitely has an upper hand with his position. And the position goes to glue wall as well. So let's just hope that it all works out in his favor. But apart from that, I think GB2L... I don't know. Actually, wait, hold on for a second. It's actually Jawbreakers who have a half decent position as well. So you never know. Jawbreakers might actually walk over the booyah as well.
I find it difficult because GB2L have already started rushing in, racing in, and the circle still favors the Jawbreakers. So let's see how are they going to fight it out. And it is Team Electro who still holds the center of the circle, Skylight, trying to rush their way in, using the... And now the glue walls are giving more damage than offer benefit. 2 players already down. It is all up to Skylight. How better he's going to play. For now, he's healing himself. He knows very well it is going to be a very bad situation if he exposes at this point of time.
Yeah, but if he exposes himself at this point of time, it's going to be hard for him. But Jawbreakers definitely in a very good spot. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all turns out. But Naeem Alam just trying to use the Woodpecker to the best of his ability and maybe get a couple of kills for himself. But he's not going to fight. He's actually not going to live to fight another day over here. It looks like it. But nonetheless, Streak is going to find the frag on the TMZ. And it all comes down to one player. That is Skylight. And we've seen this man survive, but he is going to get deleted of the server. Sadness just slapping him across the face with the shotgun and getting the last pick for his team. But talking about Jawbreakers, yep, I noticed it a little late, but the position was definitely much better than every other team out there. So they walked away with the booyah. As simple as that. You know, you respect the rules of the game, you play by them, and maybe bend them a little, and nobody's going to be able to stop you from winning the game. So congratulations to Jawbreakers for the way they played.
Yeah, whatsoever the lucky charm was, maybe you were, because they did try to fight it out. They reached top 2. They could not, and certainly you join in and they take away the booyah. So it was a good play coming. Predicting the circle just on point, saving the players just on point, and then picking such fights with which they made sure that they will definitely win it, because they had a chance where they could have eliminated last man standing from Team Electro. They did not go for it. They waited. They gave that last man standing his own beautiful time, and then ultimately they decide last man standing. Let's rush it in, and easy peasy booyah it is.
Yep, easy peasy booyah it is. And it's just the way they played, honestly, because the positioning was so good. I think it was pristine. And they maybe you can call it luck, you can call it skill, but then again, they held their ridge. And when you don't have houses around you to cover yourself, it's difficult, but then the zone favored them as well. So once again, it's a mixture of having confidence in your ability and at the same time game favoring you a little more as well. So you got to be brave. You got to take these half chances and convert them into booyahs. Otherwise, if you play very conservatively, chances are you will end up like GB2L ended up over there, because they played well. Okay, it wasn't like they made mistakes. They played well. They were in the house. The zone didn't favor them. They moved out. They were the ones who initiated the fight, got an opening as well, but still could not convert that into a booyah because, well, Jawbreakers took a half chance and converted that into a booyah because of the confidence.
Yeah, confidence does matter. They needed to gain this because now we are midway through the for the league day 8, and now as you mentioned in the midway map, because now they are entering into do or die situation, now or never situation. So now they need to make sure that their performance keep on increasing with every progressing match. And yes, we are seeing Jawbreakers performance. This is for the first time they won Booyah for today, and yes, they have got certain Booyahs in previous days, but then they need to make sure they maintain the consistency, and they are in top 2 for the team. So if even if they make a little bit of mistake, they might stumble down, and then comes the main struggle, which is going to be play-ins.
Then comes the main struggle, which is going to be planes, because in planes you're going to be fighting against teams which could not make it. But then once again, they're not bad teams. They've taken time out to learn from their mistakes, and the meta is going to change, and it's not going to be as long as the league stage where you had multiple days to prove yourself. So if you had an off day, you still had a chance. From the planes to the finals, well, if you don't work out, or if it doesn't work out for you on the day, well, then good luck to you, GG's, because you got to make sure that on the day of the finals, you don't have a bad day. And for that, it takes years and years of practice. And that is the reason why, we get so amazed at the skill level of these players, because the way they play, I can't even imagine moving my fingers like that. I'd probably break like 5 bones in my hand.
Yeah, definitely. We already know Jawbreakers, Team Agents, they are very old names. They're very old teams, and their performances are hence proven. Every time they come over here, they definitely outshine. Though I did not get to see how Team Agent got eliminated, I wanted to see their fight as well, because they are underperforming from what potential they can do. So, yes, Team Agents, it's not a good day for them. At least not the first half. Let's see how rest of the heart is going to show the play. I don't know. It's not the time to predict. Maybe it's the time of performance that we expect coming from teams like Team Agent, because they have been on the leaderboard since the league points were distributed. They have been on rank 1, and they are not doing the way they're not giving their best today, whatsoever the circumstances be. But then at this point of time, you have to give your fullest. Let's see. And yes, talking about Team Cyanide, they are definitely trying their best. Yes, they are not in top 2. They are not getting an easy qualifier for finals, but still they have their hopes up. They are giving the best possible.
Yep, they're giving the best possible, but then again, it's a double-edged sword. Sure, you do feel good about yourself, and you see that we gave it our best shot, we didn't make it. It's okay, boys. Try the next time. But at the same time, if your best is not working out, then you're just not good enough. How do you counter that? Because then it gets stuck in your head that the other teams just played better than you. So you start questioning your own sanity. You start questioning your own skill, if you actually have it or not. And that's a terrible place to be in, because especially in slumps, when these players get into a slump, they ask themselves all kinds of questions. Wait, do I even belong here? Do I play good enough? Or have the other players just evolved so quickly that I've not been able to keep up? So trying to get out of that zone is one battle in itself. So you got to win all of these battles to go out there and wage war against all these teams playing the tournament. And I do believe, I do sincerely believe that being a player takes such a toll on your health as well, like, physical health, mental health, and just it's so much pressure that a lot of times it's just a pressure that crumbles players, and even though they might have the skill, they just can't execute it.
Yeah. There are certain ifs and buts situation, because players definitely they tend to have lots of hours for practice. They take a toll, or not only on the physical health, but as well as on mental health. Just like you gave some questions, just like, am I not good enough? Am I not doing my best? Whatsoever certain questions that roam around in your head. So yes, the main propaganda should be, you also need to have the better of mental health to get to play these sort of heavily pressured, heavily intense tournaments. And this is the biggest by far for Bangladesh. Come on, let's head back towards the replays for the match of Kalahari, where we did see Jawbreakers finally showing up the best of the skills possible. They did pick up fights early on, but then the first team to fight was Team TXV. It was command post where the fights were expected. It was left to Arthur with very low HP, but somehow Team Mask did win that fight. Talking about Fire Foundation over here against Team Cyanide, the Tupley thing that happened, it was here, and yes, it was I don't know, unfortunate situation or whatsoever. Then comes Team One Man rushing it in, flanking it in within the spot of the opponents, getting knocked at first, but then ultimately giving the best, playing the best, winning away this battle.
Winning away this battle for sure, and then Mola getting a knock. But if you're talking about Alamin over there, though, look at him, just using the grapple, making sure he goes in close. and barely surviving over there, but then once again just overcommitting to the grapple and not being so accurate. Gets taken down. His teammate was right there, but it just doesn't work out. Cyanide was eliminated pretty quickly, so both the teams has actually got a booyah. Ambush and Cyanide not even making it to the top 5, and looks like Kalahari is a new purgatory. Expect the unexpected, and that is exactly what's been happening today as well, because you talk about the teams which you might expect to perform. You talk about the hot favorites. They've not been able to play that well, Tanya.
Now maybe Kalahari is the new purgatory. Expect the unexpected, but for me, Kalahari has always been the most unexpected map, and it did outplay because Jawbreakers had to move their way through. Otherwise, if we talk about GB12, they had the advantage of circle, but wrong weapon choices over here. Naeem Alam trying to rush with the SKS and then gets the best shotgun knock. He confirms one knock over here. Team Electro gets eliminated, and then comes the last man standing, which was Skylight. He saved himself for quite too long. He does try to push it in, but Sadness ended it with sadness for the opposition and wins away this battle.
Yep, sadness for the opposition. I like the phrase. When you're playing against a team, it's not just a battle that you're fighting in the game, but outside the game as well. You gotta play with your opponent's heads, and especially whenever I am playing and I get a chance to dictate the pace of the game, I take it. And I suggest this to all of my friends who try and play competitive or are learning the curve. Because the moment you start controlling the pace of the game, you're making decisions for the other team that they don't know. But we're going to talk about it. But before that, we need to have a look at the scoreboard. So let's have the scoreboard up here and see how the teams are standing out. But Ambush on top with 44 points. Cyanide as well being tied out. But Jawbreakers have come in here with 40 points for themselves. So not a massive difference. But then outside the top 3, it is still, the wild, wild west.
The way Ambush Esports could not perform, they had a difference of around 8 points, and just underperforming one match left them with a tie. Team Cyanide once again climbing their way up. I like the performances coming from Team Cyanide. It is not just that they stick to rank 1. It is always they begin with somewhere around rank 6, and gradually every step that they take, every map that they play, they climb one step at a time. And yes, baby steps does matter. This is how at least Team Cyanide is trying to do. Ultimately, they are winning the race. So yes, slow and steady wins the race. It is perfect for Team Cyanide.
Yep, it is perfect for Team Cyanide, but I'm worried about the teams on the bottom. Do you talk about Infinity? You talk about Mask Boys, Agent especially. Why is Agent not in the top 5, top 4? Why is Agent at position number 9? Now that is really concerning for me, because they do have the kill points, not bad. They've been doing okay. But the position points, on the other hand, it's just not been working out. And I think this is a case of being impatient or just trusting your skill too much. When you know that you can go on and take those fights head on, you try and take every single fight that you get and end up overcommitting and then being eliminated early in the game. So, there are times where, sure, you can go all guns blazing, but then once again, you got to respect the rules of the game. You got to respect how, the game works and just play by the rules. So, at the end of the day, it is a battle royale game. Position points do matter. And you got to go out there and grab some decent positioning points as well for yourself, because if you can't do that, then you got to get copious amounts of kill, and I don't think that's really possible.
Yeah, that is definitely next to impossible. Let's see if they are going to go through that. Talking about kills, how Team Cyanide on rank 2, though having the highest frags by far, they have 24 kills compared to the rank 1, which is Ambush Esports with 22 kills. So I am certainly fascinated more by kill points rather standing points. But yes, standing points does matter a lot.
Yep, standing points do matter a lot. That's well said. But we'll see how the teams fare out in the next 3 games, because today, well, I did mention the game before. So I'm going to wait for Kalahari to end and see if I can actually give you guys a prediction. But looks like I can't really give you guys a prediction, because it is, well, one of those days where you can say expect the unexpected, and you really have no idea what is going to happen. So let's hop into the game and see how the next match turns out. And, well, it is going to be Bermuda, Tanya. Why don't you walk us through the plane path?
Yeah, definitely. It is Bermuda. As always, I do expect some fights coming up into the blue circle as well as into the clock tower. Let's see if the flight path is going to go through there. Before that, it is blue bullseye where the blue circle is. So yes, there are 3 teams certainly trying to land there. One of them, which was Ambush Esports, decides to move out of there. They don't want to die early because they've already lost a lot in the previous match. But then they're not being alone there into the shipyard as well. So yes, there are total of 2 teams who are going to go towards shipyard. One of them them was Team Cyanide. It was Infinity, though. It is Team Infinity. Let's see how are they going to perform, because now there's one more team who is also going to join in, and that team is Team Zenon.
Yeah, but nobody lied towards Sentosa or even Mars. They're far away from Sentosa, which is a massive surprise because back in the day, I still remember watching 3 teams go down there and just, fight it out. But then I think Santo, he's going to get finished fearless. Ooh la la, look at that though. Just, going in for some style points, making sure that he has a lot of fun while he does get the frag. So, well, we do have the new kill leaders. I mean, they only have a kill, so it doesn't really count. But it's interesting to see 4 teams as a matter of fact. Wait, hold on. Oh, never mind. It's only 3 teams. 3 teams land around Shipyard, so close to each other.
Yeah, they are very close to each other. It was just that I saw rainbow colors going for the blue circle, and then ultimately they decide, let's scatter a bit. And for unfortunately for this team, they could not scatter very well. Everybody ended into the shipyard. Yes, not within it, but surrounding it. But for now, it is Team Zenon who is trying to give some firing shots. No reason whatsoever. But yes, I do see one of the players beneath the same squad house. Let's see how this fight is going to brew up. But for now, it is Shifat who is trying to race into the open area, which is a little more than risky steps taken at this point of time. But ultimately, they don't have much of weapons, they don't have much of healings, they don't have much to do except for running out of this particular fight, which might cook up in their favor or maybe not in their favor.
Yep, it might cook up in their favor or not in their favor, but you never know until you actually take the step, right? So you got to make sure that with your own knowledge of the game, you're in a decent position and you're not at a disadvantage, at least when you're taking the fight. And then just let the fight play out, because if you're always scared of taking a fight, then it's never going to work out because you're never going to take the chance. And I didn't mention the last game as well. You got to take those half chances and convert them into full chances, because at the end of the day, higher the risk, higher the reward.
Yeah, definitely. The riskier you play, you might get a chance to get better rewards. Let's see who is going to get rewarded this time around, because this is a Bermuda and not usual of Bermuda. It is now a common thing that we keep on repeating, that slow play is the new end for Bermuda, because usually it was not the case scenario. 4 teams landing up in Clock Tower or Observatory or Sentosa, wheresoever. And then with the land and fight situations, usually there were 2 to 3 teams that might get eliminated within first 4 to 5 minutes. But for now, we have already almost 4 minutes through the map, and no teams have been eliminated except for 3 players at this point of time. Team Agent this time around are sticking to the safe play Graveyard. They are sharing the grounds with Team TXB, but if Arnab decides to get knocked behind the cover of Haystack, he might get some, because there's no hard cover for either of the teams except for Shabir, who is trying to hold the squad house very nicely.
Yep. He's trying to hold the squad house very nicely, but then again, Fearless has been knocked out. A is still surviving with 2 kills for themselves. Actually, make that 3. And Ali is going to fall. Asian Arnab this time around, they're going out there and making sure that he does get a kill for himself. So agents are going to try and play the long game and just stay alive and make a recovery in the second half of the day. But hopefully, we'll see some retaliation from the other teams and not give them a chance to make a comeback, because that just makes the tournament more interesting. And agents have been running a riot since the day this tournament has started, and it's about time that somebody stops them. So let's just hope, Tanya, we see some action coming in from all the teams.
Yeah, definitely. We do expect the best of actions. And yes, team agents have supposedly ruled throughout the league days. And now certainly we are seeing the practices are being paid off by other teams. They are able to fight out against them. They are able to eliminate. And talking about elimination, Godspeed might get eliminated over here. Coming from Ambush Esports, Fresher trying to go within the Chrono Shield, giving some damage and confirms the kill alongside. So yes, Mask Boys have got eliminated on position 11. Ambush Esports, a total of 5 kills. Losing 1 player. Fair trade though, 5 kills are definitely going to give you something good, but they need to make sure they also gain some standing points, because previously when they did have some kills, they got eliminated early on. So now their throne that might get shaken off, because the points are being shared by top 2 teams. Let's see, talking about Team Extreme X is over here. They are fighting against one of the teams, and that is Team Electro. Electro used the Chrono Shield right on time. Zico left with very low HP to work with and gets knocked down. Kazi tries to give the best of supports possible. Jump and shoot is the action, and yes, Kazi confirms the knock, and he's going to confirm the kill real soon.
Well, He does confirm the kill over there, but Kazi is going to fall down. Can he stay alive for long enough? 77 MD in the meantime is going to go and try and push in with the Mag 7. But does it work out? He's... Ooh! Sav's just being quicker than he was. And fastest fingers in the West, for sure. But Hamim is going to be the only guy surviving who's actually taking a lot of damage. The nade coming in, but Electro, they will have their men all around the opposition and guarantee that squad's killers points for themselves. And we have 9 teams, 32 players alive. Agent on the other hand, look at them though. They don't want to stop, Tanya. They absolutely do not want to stop.
Yeah, they don't want to stop at all, and it is Bhima Sakti strip where you enjoy the fights more and most, but I am afraid agents might not enjoy it. Shabir is down, though revived at this point of time. It is Zisan with the best of sniper skills that he possesses. Godwin knocked down, he's unable to confirm. That is the disadvantage that comes for the mid-range fight and for the snipers as well, because yes, you get the knocker, but confirming the kill is the part that has to be played by the other teammates. Unfortunately, not getting such team support, he's trying to go get another knocker. Is he going to be successful though? It is going to be Alamin or Spart Shupin into his crosshair real soon.
Yep, that's true, but you can look at Zisan though. He wants to connect those shots with the snipers, and he's been a really good sniper user for his team. So, and this is one thing I find very surprising on how many teams actually overlook. A good sniper can be the difference. It can absolutely be the difference between your team actually getting a couple of extra points and not. Because sure, the snipers are supposed to be used at long range, but we've seen some players use snipers like shotguns and just absolutely shred their opposition like as it was a piece of paper. And it's just interesting to see how it all turns out. But Zisan, in the meantime, look at him just dishing out so much damage, making sure that he cannot revive his teammate. But now I think they will actually get the revive. Ooh! Wait, what? What in the God's name was that?
That was knocking through the glue wall, bypassed the glue wall, connecting the shots, just the perfect one. The typical of agents are finally in as the day is progressing, and now they have got total of 6 kills with the loss of one player. Alamin is trying to survive as long as possible. Arnab is down, and now comes the role of Zisan, confirming the kills over here. Teams and on is totally shut down, aced out totally by agents. So now we get to see the originality of agents finally as the day is progressing. So is the play.
Yep, as the day is progressing, so is the play, and this is the thing that I was talking about, right? They have the confidence in their ability of taking the fights, and this time around it's working out. They have 8 kill points, but imagine it did not work out once again, and they would be stuck with no position points, just a couple of kill points, and still be at the bottom of the table. But this time around, they're planning to make a recovery. 8 teams, 25 players, and it's still the first zone, so a lot of initial fights coming in, Tanya, and I love seeing this. I absolutely love seeing this.
Even I'm loving it. Look at Peak, just the rainbow color that we got to see on the blue circle, and now it is Peak. Naeem Alam is down, and now it is red zone. Maybe the fight might get delayed at this point of time. Nobody would flank out of the compounds, not wanting to take unnecessary risk. Though it is Skylight still out, up and open. Let's see if he's going to survive though. And now they finally decide to race out of this fight. They have realized the danger, not only by the danger zone, but yes, there are certain teams that are already waiting. With the Hawkeye view, GB12 Skylight is knocked down, and he will be revived. The benefit of the long range fights, the typical benefit.
Yep, there is a typical benefit of the long range fights with Skylight being knocked down. He's going to be rest. GB12, they're still surviving. Jawbreakers are also still alive. These are the 2 of the top 3 teams from the last game, and they've been doing okay for themselves. So once again, it's going to be good to see, but Cruz is going to find a frag for himself. Sabid is going to go down. And if you talk about Tio Loser and Mola, both of them have been knocked, but they've not been finished. Or actually, they are going to get finished. The moment I wanted to say that they have not been finished yet, they get finished, and Tio might just get knocked out of the serve. But look at that. Jamil doesn't want to stop. He's going to try and shred his opponent. Well, he does have solid cover to work with, but the question is, can Jamil still alive? Oh my goodness, he doesn't care. He absolutely does not care. He goes in and he's like, you know what, mate? Maybe I might die, but I'm going to still try and get your kill. And he actually does manage to get that extra point for himself.
and now they are trying to outperform. They are trying to make up for the losses that they have made early on. This is what I'm seeing, because yes, they're ready to take the risk. They want the better rewards, and yes, risks are going to pay off if this sort of risks are taken, where that situation might end up in your favor. Talking about Zisando taking a longer flank, and it is UAV who might expose them. One of the players from Team Agent is already exposed. Talking about Peak, it is UAV above their head, so now the position is totally revealed. Everybody knows where the exact position is. Talking about the man of the match, though, for the previous match, it was JB Freak. We have seen taking him way more kills. It is 2 kills. Yes, it is good indeed, but yes, we've seen him into the best of momentum with kills like 6 or 8 some days. Jamili trying to save for his life, racing it out, using the glue walls, trying to run back, but I think it is going to be an unsuccessful attempt. The way Freak is just keeping the crosshair on the tree.
Yeah, the way he has this crosser on the tree, the shots are only going to connect to the tree, and you can't really shoot people down through that thick wood. But JB, he wants to push in. They want to push in, and they actually will. Sign out, on the other hand, though, they've called in a drop, and Sadness might have actually read into this. He has an M249 to work with. Information being relayed. Now are they going to go around them? And once again, there's an MVP. Sorry, there's a UAV which is right on top of them. So I mean, they don't really have to relay any information. They just know there are a lot of players over there.
Yeah, that is an easy exposure of each and every player. Sometimes it does end up in advantage, but sometimes you also get revealed and you might get attacked. At this point of time, JB Team Jawbreakers have decided to take a fall back, and it is GB2L who is trying to fight it out. And let's see, are they going to be successful? Because until now, they only have 1 kill. The Cruz did manage to get with the MP40. I would want them to go with the same strategy once again, 1 player at a time. Let's see, are they going to be successful? Because Fleps is definitely not wanting to pick up fight all solo. He wants to go and meet and greet with his teammates, because that is how you win it. You cannot win all solo. And talking about Team Agents, they did split apart. They went 1-1 all by themselves, and now going duos. So yes, they still stand a chance to pick up any fights they want to, because 2 players are still standing, and we know the capability of Agents. They can fight out 2v4 very easily.
Yep, they can definitely fight it out 2v4 very easily, because they're a team which is capable of that. They have the firepower, they have the will, the courage, and the confidence to pull something like that off. But then again, we've seen them lose out a 4v4 fight in the last 2 games, or the last couple of games, as a matter of fact. So you never know. You never know how the game turns, and you never know what twists might the server have. So we'll have to wait it out. We'll have to see how the players approach this. But it's been a fairly slow or fairly calm past 2 minutes. But the moment I mention it, JB Freak, he's going to get spotted. He's going to try and take a couple of shots. But will he stay alive, though? So smart in taking use his chrono shield, because the moment he saw a player on the left, he opened up his shield so that he does not take a lot of damage.
Yeah, he is definitely trying to save himself. And when we talk about Jawbreakers, they are going up close and personal with one of the teams, and that team is none other than Ambush Esports. Are they going to be successful, though? Sadness using M249, the perfect weapon, because you don't need to get reload again and again. You can go for the fights where if you keep on showering the bullets, you might get a knocker, you might confirm the kill.
You might get a knock, or you might confirm the kill. That is absolutely true. But if you talk about Freak and Sadness, the way they've been playing, well, it's nobody's going to find a frag. Actually, two knocks for himself, Sadness and Naeem Alam. Both of them just being knocked out because of one nade coming in from the nade launcher. But then again, Freak, in the meantime, he is going to try and go inside, rush inside the shield and find a knock for himself, trying to finish that player. Will he find one more knock? Does look like it. He does have the chrono shield to work with, and he can go in. Freak just taking his sweet time. Novin might fall down because he oh my goodness, that was so unfortunate, Tanya. That was so unfortunate. Double kill.
Yeah, at point of time when 2 players were already down, Sadness and Naeem Alam, I thought the time for JB has come. Jawbreakers might get eliminated, and then comes the rush of Freak and Cheetah. Yes, Freak did go very well. Unfortunate for the opponents, but Jawbreaker definitely won this battle. Let's see, it is now Ambush Esports versus Cyanide. We know Ambush Esports has lost one of the player, and Cyanide has for all 4 intact. Fearless trying to scout out, trying to flank out. Is he going to be successful, though? Because spotting at this point of time is very easy, and Cyanides are really waiting for this moment when they spot and get any opponents eliminated. But look at the circle shift, Mamba. What a beautiful circle shift in the favor of Ambush Esports, who did try to go an easy entry, and they got it for free, though.
Yep, they did try to go in for an easy entry. They got it for free, and it's just once again, one of those cases where you gotta be brave and you gotta hold your position because you have confidence in how good the position is, and the circle works out for you. But players in peak, they will have to move out to the open area, and that is going to be a massive problem. So I think they're going to try and go in for the long rotation. Let's just hope that they don't get caught off guard with the pants down, because that will be very unfortunate.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be very unfortunate. Let's see who is going to fall into that unfortunate situation. Because Team Cyanide, though they are holding the edge of the circle, holding a hard compound, and which is quite too safe at this point of time. They don't need to rush out, because if we talk about the resources, they have plenty. 6 health kits to work with, 8 glue walls. Yes, throwables are a little less, but then you don't tend to use it quite too often when you have such a close range fight. That is a matter of fact. You want to get that multiple knocks at a time. That grenade can give you the advantage, but certainly it is not every time you use for. So Team Cyanide, according to me, is once again landed into such a safe position, which can be proven a very tough competition for today. And let's see what our Jawbreakers up to. Sadness has spotted Skylight and Fleps. In counterfire, Naeem Alam is knocked down once again, and this time let's see if he's going to be revived. Are they going to save them? Because Sadness certainly is trying to save himself for now. And yes, Naeem Alam is surviving though.
But Naeem Alam is definitely surviving. We have Cheetah over here who's going to try and push in, and he wants to be the one initiating the fight for his team, but will shoot a lot of bullets in to find the knock in. Yes, indeed he does. He has a lot of backup coming in from his teammates, so the dual vectors and the shotgun makes him 10-14 working out so well. And the nades, no matter how many... Oh, look at that. Look at the aggression from Jawbreakers.
The aggression was just so perfect. They are like kill hungry at this point of time. They want to make sure they climb their way up, because we know Ambush Esports are around rank 1, sharing the points with Team Cyanide. Team Cyanide is also surviving, and the best part is they are surviving as a 4-man army. They have to fight out against either 2 players, either 3 players. So now there's tough competition between Jawbreakers and Cyanide, because we know Jawbreakers have a little more amount of kills compared to what Cyanide has right now. So yes, they need to make sure that they win away this booyah. Even if they don't take much of kills, they need to make sure they take the booyah, because the difference is only of 4 points between Jawbreakers and Cyanide. So now Ambush Esports is definitely, we cannot say out of the race though, because these are the top 3 teams trying to fight out in best possible ways. There's only one team, that is Agents. They are trying to make the living difficult for them. They're going for the distance fight. And yes, Agent Zishan confirming total of 7 kills and 15 kills all together from the team.
15 kills just coming in from, and a majority of them actually coming in from just 2 players, Zisan and Jamil. But Zisan also has a nade launcher to work with. He's going to fall. It does look like he might just actually fall down over there. Oh, he does get one more knock. Can he stay alive? I don't think so. If he connects that shot, are you kidding?
He did connect.
Oh my God. Oh God. I'm literally face palming so hard. How does he manage to do it? That's magical. And this is what I've talked about, that snipers can use, the guns as if they were shotguns, and connecting a shot at that range, Tanya, is just unbelievable.
That definitely is. Walk and knock with a sniper is never too easy, but Zisan makes us look at so smooth and so flawless. At point of time, I just thought he got a knocker. He might get one more kill for himself. He did have 7 though, but ultimately they were less in numbers. So Team Cyanide made it though. Very good play, very fair play. Not much of kills, but a very perfect one. But how can we forget the walk and knock? So let's head towards the replays for this match, which was Bermuda, 4th match for the day. We did see some consistency flowing from Team Cyanide, and this was Ambush Esports landing into the shipyards. Godspeed gets knocked out and eliminated quite too early on, and then comes pressure to try to get counter fight. And yes, he was successful enough to eliminate, and they had a total of 5 kills with 3 players to work with.
No, they had a total of 5 kills with 3 players to work with, but honestly, I believe that even though they did not get the booyah, if you talk about Agents specifically, they didn't get the booyah, but they will still be on the top in this match's leaderboard, because the amount of kill points they had is just incredible. Like 15 kills, that's not a joke. A lot of teams actually get booyahs with less than 7 or 8 kills, and this is literally the double of that. So they did play really aggressive, and they're planning to make a comeback. I just hope it works out for them.
Yeah, finally they are pulling some trick out of their sleeve. That is what I personally asked for, and they are playing it very well. This was the time when they lost Shabir. Yes, he was revived though, but then unfortunately the flank that he went for did not end up in his favor. He gets eliminated, and agents start raging out at this point of time, getting some kills. 4 kills were already in their pockets, and this is where they lost Arnob as well in this battle against the Team Xenon. Team Xenon could not survive, but they did give enough damage to the team who could not manage to get Booyah, but yes, won away the hearts. Zisan definitely is one of the finest player. Once again goes up close and personal. Arnab taking the cover of the glue wall. Jamil going with the double vector. Could not confirm the knock, and then this was the time Arnab was traded out. And how Zisan confirming the wins, kills at Bhima Sakti strip.
Yep. Confirming those kills at the strip, but then Jamil just over here ran behind the player. He reloaded his gun and made sure he followed the player around and used the inhaler while he was jumping around the corner, and then finished the player that he was fighting. But talking about Jawbreakers, this was very unfortunate. Nobin just going in, using one nade launcher to take out 2 players. Like, imagine being in a situation like that.
Yeah, that would be very unfortunate. And this time around for Jawbreakers, they did go for the close rush. Sadness was knocked down too, but then double vectors. Cheetah did the work very easy at that point of time. And talking about Zisan, this was the time they did have 12 kills. They were not satisfied with that numbers, so they went for 1 knock. And how beautifully does he take the aim? 1 shot is equal to 1 knock is a definite. I mean, no waste of ammo. All the skills used at a time, and 1 shot, 1 knock is a definite outcome.
Yep, 1 shot, 1 knock is the definite outcome if you do connect the headshots. And I was about to say, when Zisan, towards the end, when he got connected that shot, before that I was about to say that he might have actually missed a couple of shots in this match, but then the last couple of shots that he connected, like, look at that one. Before he went down, he still managed to get that knock. I'm not sure if the kill is going to be registered, but that was impressive for sure. And I really am excited for the scoreboard, because I know for a fact that if you take the last game scoreboard, Agents are definitely going to be on top.
They were top 3. There were 4 teams surviving for the final circle. 3 were the same teams. We have seen them in repetition. There was only 1 team who is not in top 3. Indeed, they are into the bottom 6 somewhere. So they come in, they bounce in, they damage in every possible ways to these 3 top teams. And let's see how are they going to perform from here forth, because 4 matches are already done for the day. And my work is also done for the day. Next few matches are going to be done by Salty and Mamba. So I'm signing off for now. You take a small break and come back as soon as possible.
It's me again, Kelly! Huge thanks to all of you for the warm support to Free Fire Esports in the past years. I know all of us can't wait to find out what's next for Free Fire Esports in 2021. So today, I am very excited to share with you what we've achieved so far and what we are planning for this year. Let's start with our biggest esports event in 2020, the Free Fire Continental Series. By the way, I hope you still remember my terrific performance at the opening ceremony. We broke records with the Asia Series, where 2.5 million of you tuned in to us live. The America Series also had a peak of over 1.7 million live viewers. Meanwhile, the EMEA series also drew in nearly 300,000 live viewers, creating new viewership records for us in the CIS and Middle East regions. Your support was absolutely amazing! The Free Fire family just keeps growing. You guys rock! The World Series, together with the rest of our tournaments, pushed Free Fire into the top 5 most watched games on YouTube in 2020. Last but not least, we won the Esports Mobile Game of the Year at the Esports Awards 2020. We are humbled by your passion and love for Free Fire Esports. This award is yours as much as it is ours. Hayato, it's your turn to talk about the World Series.
Sure. We have continuously expanded our esports outreach throughout the world, and the number of participating regions have grown massively. We started with 9 regions at our very first international tournament, the Free Fire World Cup. Over the past 2 years, our esports community has grown to include India, Russia, the Middle East, and the Pakistan regions. Our plans to grow further do not stop here. And in 2021, we'll be adding Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Philippines as competitive regions.
Yay!
Next, we're proud to present the brand new logo and format for the Free Fire World Series, our largest and most iconic tournament of the year. This year will be bigger than ever before. There will be 2 World Series in 2021. The first World Series will be taking place in Asia during April, while the second World Series will be hosted in November. In addition to these, there will be another international tournament around July. So stay tuned for the rest of the year.
In 2021, we will continue to work hard and provide more engaging esports events and content. We are excited to see Free Fire Esports grow bigger this year, and we know we can do it with you as our loyal fans. That's all for now, and we will meet again very soon in April for the World Series.
See you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Free Fire Bangladesh Championship 2021. My name is Salty, with me is Mamba, and we have had a lot of good games. But Mamba, right, you don't know, I've had a eureka moment in between these games. I'm going to explain that very shortly. But you and Tani, you mentioned about a very important word. That was that the players were wearing frocks from Team Jawbreakers. And I have developed a complete thesis on why is that useful. I'll explain to it during the game, but about the other games, what are your views?
I'm more interested in the thesis, though.
All right. We'll have a look at the map recap, though, and I'll come back to the thesis. Don't worry, Mamba. But talking about the maps, Bermuda was Ambush Esports' home ground, of course. I mean, we've seen them play very good. Jawbreakers was consistent throughout. Team Sign had one of the consistent outfits, and it just goes to show that even during a tournament, you might not come prepared right at the very start of it, but I've seen this Team Cyanide evolve into an outfit that is the very best in the region. They were definitely not a team of that caliber, but as the tournament progressed, I just love the way how they have improved. I just love the way how they've improvised their errors. They're not making the same mistakes, and their gunfight has improved so much. I love watching Team Cyanide right now, and more so Team Jawbreakers, as my thesis is dedicated to them, of course.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the thesis, but then again, I think there's only one reason, and one reason only, and that is wearing the same costume when you're flanking the opposition. It's harder for them to understand how many players are there, but of course, we're going to hop right into the game and see what actually happens. But Salty, coming back to your thesis, I think it's about time while we talk about the playing path as well. So, well, Purgatory, game number 5, or round number 5, if you want to call it that way. So, yeah, let's go through the thesis.
Yeah, I mean, the plane does take off, but I mean, I see only 2 players from Team Electro. That's kind of a bit off, though. But yeah, coming back to my thesis, of course, the way I have used traditional geometry coupled with different laws of aerodynamics and the in-game resistances that you get from the atmospheric environment, the conclusion is insane, Mamba. Of course, the frogs, though, they do help in a lot of different ways. First of all, it gives you a lot of mobility to work with, right? I mean, if you're wearing skinny jeans, you wouldn't get that much speed in your rotations, of course. Mobility is really important. Mobility is really important. But the second point is even more, Mamba. There is a lot of airflow in it. You need your engine to be running cool. You don't want it to run hot, because if that is going hot, you, of course, are not really putting out the best out of your in-game avatar. So Jawbreakers, they've really thought about it, and they thought that, all right, in-game avatars are going to be our key aspects of the game, and we need them running cool and running at their full potential. And that is exactly what they did with the use of the frogs, of course. Also, because of the aerodynamics of the frogs, the rotations are much more quicker than these players from Team Infinity who are wearing skinny jeans. So, do you realize, Mamba, how crucial that is to a game of this caliber? I mean, it was a eureka moment for me. I've never thought about it.
Well, I will just pretend that this conversation never happened, and I will pretend this was never said, and I'm going to go right back into the matchup for now. We have Infinity Nobin waiting it out outside the window, Santa right next to him, and they want to pick a fight with GB2L. Now, the question is, are they going to push in, or are they going to be patient enough for holding themselves outside the house and not be flanked or not be ambushed. So Siamam, in the meantime, he's going to fall down. So, well, is he going to get the rest? I don't think so, because I think he's too far away from his teammates, and that'll be very unfortunate. But Agent, wait, what?
What? Team... Oh my god, Team Agent have been taken down by Team Ambush Esports right at the 12th position. This is a team we're down to be the Bangladeshi champs, and they go down 12th. Team Jawbreakers have suffered a kill as well. Team XP, though, they've been taken down by Ambush again. I don't know what's happening with Team Ambush Esports, but certainly they're not Ambush Esports anymore. They're Goku from Dragon Ball Z in his Super Saiyan mode. But talking about this fight, though, we have Team Infinity, who haven't really performed to the best of their capabilities, but here they have the opportunity to make amends. The kills come through Kingsman get flips. And as we talk about it, CMWoW is already down and out, but Team GB2L, I guess they're only a two-man side right now. This can be an advantageous position for Team Infinity. A 3v2 is always going to favor them in a lot of different ways, but will they go for the clutch? That is a question. Alpha, he is still out there. One player actually rushes in. It's going to be Nobin. He will be in a 1v1 situation. He has to take out the fight for himself. The shotgun pops off, and he also pops off the head of Alpha. He will shred him to different pieces, but GB2L, they're in a very tough situation, Mamba.
Well, they are definitely in a very tough situation, but if you do look at this, what in the world? Wait, hold on. I blinked twice. Okay, 10 teams alive. That's fair. Do you look at the number of players alive? Sir.
I mean, I
don't know. I am speechless right now. 21 players, that's it. We literally lost on 24 players in the first 4 minutes. Can you believe it?
Oh,
can you believe it?
You mean 28?
28, sorry, my bad. 28. Hey man, listen. I'm not running on caffeine right now. I'm running on my sheer will to watch this match. Okay. So, but it's going to be interesting to see how it all actually turns out, Salty. But getting back to the discussion at hand, right? Just the way the players have, played and the aggression they've showed is quite uncanny. I don't know if there's something else going on over here, but this is a lot of aggression.
You know
that's
what?
That's just crazy.
Mamba, I kind of feel that even the players are taken aback by my thesis because it's so groundbreaking. I guess they got to realize this just now because probably they're watching my stream in the background. And I guess everyone wants to apply that same logic as well because this is groundbreaking. I mean, my discovery, I'm gonna release a paper on this because why not?
You know, it's funny, Salty. I like how you're casting the tournament and you release the thesis and assume that the players can actually listen to you. If they did, they would be banned. So they're not allowed to watch the stream. And the stream runs on a delay anyway. So yeah, they would have not been able to hear you up until this point. So your thesis, assumptions are wrong.
I mean, I do like to pull pranks. I guess the players, they know about the rules, of course, and they won't really do it. But this match, though. I mean, 10 teams, 17 players, just 5 minutes into the game. Things are definitely not usual, but the previous games, Mamba, I really loved the way how a lot of teams are actually going in. A lot of teams have actually come in from behind, not really at the top of their games. But initially, I guess they were kind of a bit weak. But as time progressed, they got a lot better.
Well, Kiddo is just running around and in circles on the mountain. But ladies and gentlemen, we just received an update that the game number 5 is going to be rehosted because of some tech issue, which is great, so that everybody is on the same level playing field. So apologies for the delay and the inconvenience, but we will rehost the match and we'll hop back into it. But in the meantime, that gives me a little more time with Salty. Gives us screen time where I can go on and pull his leg and talk about thesis and why it's so, well, I guess in the most British accent possible, stupid. Because airflow is not my problem when I'm playing Free Fire. I'm sure it's because they want to confuse their enemies wearing the same costume. Salty.
I mean, confusion is fine, but eventually airflow is also there. I mean, imagine, right? Your
Yeah.
stuff.
You know what,
you
Salty?
stuff-
You know what? I've had enough of your thesis. I don't want the audience to listen to this anymore. I'm gonna take a break, ladies and gentlemen, while I put some sense into all he said. But we're gonna have a lot more fun. But do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
It's me again, Kelly! Huge thanks to all of you for the warm support to Free Fire Esports in the past years. I know all of us can't wait to find out what's next for Free Fire Esports in 2021. So today, I am very excited to share with you what we've achieved so far and what we are planning for this year. Let's start with our biggest esports event in 2020, the Free Fire Continental Series. By the way, I hope you still remember my terrific performance at the opening ceremony. We broke records with the Asia Series, where 2.5 million of you tuned in to us live. The America Series also had a peak of over 1.7 million live viewers. Meanwhile, the EMEA Series also drew in nearly 300,000 live viewers, creating new viewership records for us in the CIS and Middle East regions. Your support was absolutely amazing! The Free Fire family just keeps growing. You guys rock! The World Series, together with the rest of our tournaments, pushed Free Fire into the top 5 most watched games on YouTube in 2020. Last but not least, we won the Esports Mobile Game of the Year at the Esports Awards 2020. We are humbled by your passion and love for Free Fire Esports. This award is yours as much as it is ours. Hayato, it's your turn to talk about the World Series.
Sure. We have continuously expanded our esports outreach throughout the world, and the number of participating regions have grown massively. We started with 9 regions at our very first international tournament, the Free Fire World Cup. Over the past 2 years, our esports community has grown to include India, Russia, the Middle East, and the Pakistan regions. Our plans to grow further do not stop here. And in 2021, we'll be adding Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Philippines as competitive regions. Next, we're proud to present the brand new logo and format for the Free Fire World Series, our largest and most iconic tournament of the year. This year will be bigger than ever before. There will be 2 World Series in 2021. The first World Series will be taking place in Asia during April, while the second World Series will be hosted in November. In addition to these, there will be another international tournament around July. So stay tuned for the rest of the year.
In 2021, we will continue to work hard and provide more engaging esports events and content. We are excited to see Free Fire Esports grow bigger this year, and we know we can do it with you as our loyal fans. That's all for now, and we will meet again very soon in April for the World Series.
See you soon!
Hi survivors, subscribe and press the bell icon for more awesome content. See you in the next video!
লাস্টে গেমিং উইথ নাইমে জোন এলিমিনেট যে টিমটা চলে আসছে এবং লাস্টে গেমিং উইথ নাইমে জোন এলিমিনেট
Hi survivors, it's me again, Kelly! Finally! Huge thanks to all of you for the warm support to Free Fire Esports in the past years. I know all of us can't wait to find out what's next for Free Fire Esports in 2021. So today, I am very excited to share with you what we've achieved so far and what we are planning for this year. Let's start with our biggest esports event in 2020, the Free Fire Continental Series. By the way, I hope you still remember my terrific performance at the opening ceremony. We broke records with the Asia Series, where 2.5 million of you tuned in to us live. The America Series also had a peak of over 1.7 million live viewers. Meanwhile, the EMEA Series also drew in nearly 300,000 live viewers, creating new viewership records for us in the CIS and Middle East regions. Your support was absolutely amazing! The Free Fire family just keeps growing. You guys rock! The World Series, together with the rest of our tournaments, pushed Free Fire into the top 5 most watched games on YouTube in 2020. Last but not least, we won the Esports Mobile Game of the Year at the Esports Awards 2020. We are humbled by your passion and love for Free Fire Esports. This award is yours as much as it is ours. Hayato, it's your turn to talk about the World Series.
Sure. We have continuously expanded our esports outreach throughout the world, and the number of participating regions have grown massively. We started with 9 regions at our very first international tournament, the Free Fire World Cup. Over the past 2 years, our esports community has grown to include India, Russia, the Middle East, and the Pakistan regions. Our plans to grow further do not stop here. And in 2021, we'll be adding Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Philippines as competitive regions.
Yay!
Next, we're proud to present the brand new logo and format for the Free Fire World Series, our largest and most iconic tournament of the year. This year will be bigger than ever before. There will be 2 World Series in 2021. The first World Series will be taking place in Asia during April, while the second World Series will be hosted in November. In addition to these, there will be another international tournament around July. So stay tuned for the rest of the year.
In 2021, we will continue to work hard and provide more engaging esports events and content. We are excited to see Free Fire Esports grow bigger this year, and we know we can do it with you as our loyal fans. That's all for now, and we will meet again very soon in April for the World Series.
See you soon!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Free Fire Bangladesh Championship 2021. My name is Salty. Along with me, we have Mamba. We kind of ran into a small technical issue, but it has been sorted out, Mamba. And we're going to head into the game right away. It's going to be restarted. We don't really get to see that much aggression early on in Purgatory. I mean, we do get to see aggression, but that one was kind of absurd. Like 3 minutes into the game, we lost 20 players. That was nuts.
I was actually kind of happy. I was like, hey, man, listen, this game's going to be over quick. Because the fastest a game's been done when I was casting was in zone number 4. It was like 15 minutes or something. And that was so quick. I mean, I've never really seen a game that end in the 4th zone. That was Kalahari at command post. But this time around, it was like a tornado just coming into Purgatory and sweeping across the map. So I'm hoping that the players still carry on with the aggression because it's fun to watch. It's even more fun to cast. And
absolutely.
Yeah, Assaulty gets to have his dinner earlier because I guess he is going to have his favorite food today. And that is going to be a lot of aggression in Free Fire.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not quite sure about the favorite food. I guess I'll have to ask my mom about it. But I need to sleep early because I don't know. I'm a good boy. But apart from that, I guess we saw the third game. I mean, I am a good boy, Mama. Please. but yeah, I mean, we got to see the third game where Kalahari was almost similar to what you said. I remember you mentioning about the quickest game you casted initially in a different tournament, and I was watching the game and I was thinking like, all right, this is command post, this is Kalahari, this is the 4th circle, we have 8 players alive, this can go harsh. But eventually, I guess it dragged on for a bit long in the end game stage. But Purgatory, It'll be interesting. I guess the flight path is going to be interesting. We got to see a lot of aggression in the first Purgatory match of today, but in this match, I'm not quite sure.
Well, see, Purgatory is, again, I've always said this before, that it's not a map where you can expect consistent results from teams. You do get to see a lot of results where you're surprised. Hey man, this wasn't supposed to
Yeah.
happen, but it still did. And that is what happens a lot of times. But nonetheless, we are finally going to head into the matchup, the game number 5, which is going to be Purgatory. 2 more games for the day. And we've seen some really, really different results today. We've seen Agents, start off very, very slow.
Yeah.
Last game, they got 15 kills and actually made a decent comeback. So let's just hope that we get to see something even better in this matchup.
I mean, you know what? Like Agent, when they started out, they were so dominant. We expected to carry on that dominance for the entirety of the tournament itself. But lately, what we have seen is that Team Agent, they're not that consistent enough. They do get their high fragging affairs. We have seen them doing that initially. Like, we've seen them yesterday getting a booyah with a lot of kills. I mean, not yesterday. I guess it was the last day of week 2. But of course, it's the same thing. The last time team they played, they also had a high fragging affair in 1 game out of the 6 games that we played. Now, according to the standards that they have set for themselves, I kind of feel that even that is not up to the mark, but we'll have to see what they can come up with in this one, though, because we have a very high density of teams. In the far eastern end of the map itself, we have 4 teams huddled up together. This is Team Asian, and they find themselves right in front of team number 10. And that's going to be Team Mask Boys, another team who haven't really had the best run of form, to be honest. But if we talk about Team Asian, though, I guess this is a chance for them to seek redemption and come back into the tournament the way they would want to do it. Zishan is still out there, not holding his favorite weapon, though. He does not have his favorite sniper rifles as of yet. We'll have to see how he implements his shotguns.
Yeah, that we will have to see. But then again, talking about Sabir, he wants to try and take a fight, but will fall down to the opposition and he will be finished. Won't be given a chance to try to get revived. And look at this. We do have fights happening, but not that quickly. We only have 3 players being eliminated 2 minutes into the game. And we only have ELC going in, getting those frags. But the Agents are just, they're playing really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, they are playing well, of course, but I kind of feel that their positioning has been a very, very sketchy affair. Team Infinity and Team Electro not having the best of days today. We expected them to be at the top of the points table, just like they did yesterday. But unlike yesterday, Team Infinity and Electro, they were hurled up at the bottom of the points table after the first 2 games. So that was quite surprising for me because as you remember, Mama, these two teams, they're actually tied at 88 league points out of all the days that they have played. And there is no other team that is coming close. But Team Cyanide, though, they've shown themselves as a different avatar completely. I mean, I talked about how this particular team came in from nowhere and learned through their mistakes and are now a team that can actually compete for the championships. Moving on to the play-ins, I guess it will be a very boon to their gameplay. But now we have a lot of kills coming in. Team Extreme EXE, though, find themselves in a very precarious position. Initially, they were in a very favorable position against Team Infinity, but now I guess things have actually turned. The tides have actually turned for Team Cyanide as well, because 2 players are actually down. 1 player is already out of the server, and 1 is down on their knees. I wonder what Blade can actually pull off, because new walls do pop up, but nothing really of that sort of. Team XP is just running right, and they completely eliminate Team Cyanide out of the server itself. We had a lot of warfare in Central, and now Team XP, they're having their share of fun with the emotes and with the challenges. I guess this is going to carry on. This is good for the tournament, though. I mean, some rivalries brewing up. We getting more content.
Well, of course, it's always better to see all these fights come in. But I think the aggression is still happening. Just look at this. We have 8 teams, 29 players, and we were 4 minutes in the last time around, and we had about 20 players alive. So not a big difference, Salty. Not a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, since this is like the business end of the league stage, I kind of feel like the teams do know for a fact that, all right, the direct entry to the Grand Finals, those slots are almost like confirmed. So I kind of felt, I had a gut feeling that the teams who are actually at the bottom of their respective groups, they would actually try and go all out aggressive and go out on an all out brawl, because they also want to test their fighting skills. The rotations are definitely something which really matter a lot, but talking about in-game fighting skills, that is something which a lot of teams do need to practice, and I guess that is what these teams are doing. Team XP, we've not seen them going so aggressive early on, but since they are actually not in contention for the direct entry to the grand finals, they have nothing to lose at this point, because even trying to go for placements and trying to go like saving themselves up for the final play is something which shouldn't really bother them, because there is no elimination at that point. Seth with a beautiful grenade completely takes down Arthur. Team XP, I guess they're in some trouble right now. But as I said, there is nothing to lose at this point. Eventually, they will get another shot for the play-ins. So I guess they will put all their bets on that.
You can put bets on that, but Sabine is going to get taken down so bad, and Hamim just saying alive. What is even happening? How is he still alive? And Sabine, while he's being revived, I don't get it. This Hamim shouldn't have been alive for even half the time that he was over there. He's just playing a game of cat and mouse with, what, 2 feet to move around? That was just unfortunate.
Yeah.
That was quite embarrassing for Electron, to be honest. But, well, as long as it works, as long as you have the upper hand in terms of kill points, I guess that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. I mean, this looks like more like a casual game and not like a tournament game of the stature of Free Fire Bangladesh Championship, to be honest, because we have had 5 minutes. We are 5 minutes into the game, and we have eliminated almost like 5 teams and over 20 players. So of course, aggression is the name of the game right now. I guess, you know what, Mamba, I kind of feel like we'll see a lot more of the same tomorrow as well. But looking at the standings, though, it doesn't really surprise me. Ambush Esports, they had the lead up top, but eventually Team Cyanide, with their consistency, they've overtaken them, 63 points and holding the first position. This is a very good comeback for Team Cyanide. Eventually, though, I remember that in Group A, the buffer between second and third position place was around 30 points. So doesn't really matter if Team Cyanide do really well. They eventually are not going to make it to the grand finals directly, because today is the last day that Group A is going to play. Of course, Team Cyanide might get 20 points, but that's not enough, as I said. But the kind of performance that they've put up, I guess it'll be really helpful for them in the play-ins.
Yeah, that is true. But talking about Cyanide being on top with 63 points in today's matchup, and then Agent just going from position 9 to position 4 in a span of one game, that's incredible. I mean, how do you even manage to go up by 5 positions in just one game? The answer is fairly simple. Be in the top 2, have 15 kill points to work with, and voila. Here you go. Oh, wait, what? Did you see that?
What?
On the right side, there was a bike which just was in the wall. I'm not sure what actually happened over there, but oh, there was an emote. Okay, never mind. I saw it the wrong way. My bad. It was actually an emote. And no, I was looking at the map and I looked to the right. I was like, wait, hold on. What is happening?
Peripheral vision is so deceiving, Mama. But nonetheless, we have Team Xenon, who are trying to fight against team number 9. I wonder which particular team it is. But it is, I guess, Team Rage. I might be wrong. It is Team One Man, though. Team One Man. Talk about Team One Man, Mamba. This is another team that has a lot of potential. We've seen them take a lot of good fights. Eventually, when it actually matters, their consistency is something which actually falls below par. I might not. I put that in a more subtle manner, but Team One Man, I guess they will have to be very, very aggressive if they have to win or qualify for the play-ins. But Alamin, he already gets one knock onto Mola, I believe, but he eventually will be revived. But Kiro gets taken down. It was Shefa who comes in from behind. I guess the wrap-up is already here. Team Xenon, they might actually encapsulate the entirety of Team One Man, and they can get shredded into pieces.
Well, that is true, but if we talk about XN, Anonto actually is barely surviving. He has very little HP, but Chupan as well, he's going to fall on the Mola, and Mola making sure that he finishes the kill that he actually got initially, and Shifa just, using his shotgun, making sure he stays alive, buys enough time, but I think he needs to play it smartly and not actually force the issue. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all turns out, but Shifa is still, oh my goodness, that... Wait, the Chrono Shield is not... He was standing right next to those players and he just kept on shooting, and that was just... unfortunate.
I mean, you mentioned the right point. He was almost standing inside the chrono shield of his opponents, and he didn't even bother to shoot at them. Eventually, he was shooting at a different player, trying to confirm the kill. It is going to be Alamin who will try and run away from this entire fight. I mean, we've seen a lot of frags early on. And certainly this is not going to help either of these teams, to be honest. But I guess as they move forward to the play-ins and as we gear up for the grand finals, we have to prepare ourselves for more aggressive gameplays, Mama. Because the league stages, as we talked about it, it was a marathon for sure. But the grand finals and the play-ins, they are certainly a 100-meter sprint. And these players and these teams, they're trying to gear up for those sprinting machines or whatever you like to call it. This was the test cricket. That was T20. That is going to be T20 cricket. They have to be fast-paced. They have to be high fragging because there is no league point conversion over there. If you blow off in one game, you will blow off in one game, and you eventually will be the champs. But talking about the MVP though, Spartan from Team Cyanide, I loved his gameplay. I want to hear your thoughts on Spartan though.
Well, if you play good, you get kills, you get the MVP award. And I've seen this play yesterday, like jokes apart. I've seen this play yesterday as well. And he's very consistent. That's the beauty of this player. He doesn't go for flashy plays. He doesn't want to, make a name for being the most aggressive player. But he supports his team really well. He makes sure that his team has a very strong foundation to operate upon. And that is the reason why he's the MVP. He played really well. But Freak in the meantime, oh my goodness. That was a good shot. That was such a good shot.
I mean, snipers have become so lethal at this point. I'm not even sure what they're dealing with, but this is going to be Freak, and he is absolutely Freak over here. He takes on Mass Boys' Nibir. Talking about sadness, though, he's already closed the distance. 3 players trying to close in. There's going to be Cheetah, who runs in with his double vector. We know for a fact that this guy is just super aggressive. I mean, I've seen Cheetah since day one, and he doesn't really care about anything else in the world. He knows that, all right, I have an opponent right in front of me, and I'm going to kill him. Doesn't really matter if I'm not in a very good position to work with. Doesn't really matter whatever the situation is. He just rushes in. It reminds me of this particular character from the show called Death Note. I'm not really sure if you're an anime geek, but... So this character, the protagonist, Light Yagami, he's the one who kills people just by his sheer will. And the same happened over here, but Team Asian, though. Going up against Team Electro, Sabeth has already been taken down. I wonder how many players are still alive. Not really, only one player. That's going to be Seth. He might get taken down in a flash because we know the Team Agent can do it. Eventually, it is going to be Team Agent. Or no, coming out with the Max 7 and finishing him off.
Yep, coming out of the Max 7 and finishing him off. But Agents, they are not just doing well, but they're doing really well. They have 7 kills to work with. 5 teams alive, 14 players. And, ooh! Santo, on the other hand, though, look at that. Mola is going to be finished off. Kingsman is standing behind the box, but the nade coming in. Now, the problem is that might have actually worked against him. Those were 2 really good headshots. Now, imagine the nade landed behind him, but the glue wall made the nade go towards him. It bounced off the glue wall and went towards him. That would have been so unfortunate.
Yeah. But the players are very experienced with their glue walls, to be honest. I've seen players blocking grenades from entering the building in a split second using a glue wall. I've seen them use glue walls in very, very creative manners. And this just goes to show that how much time that they are spending on the game. And eventually, I was talking about my anime references. I say this very often because Free Fire has a tendency to collaborate with a lot of different animes around. Generally, they've done it with One Punch Man. They've done it with Death Note. So that is the reason why I love pulling off references, because why not?
Yep, because why not? But getting back to this matchup, we have, well, Jawbreakers and INF be fighting it out against each other. The Freak is in a good position. He does have a sniper to work with. They're not going to do a lot of damage, but they definitely get the knock, and they need to move out of the danger zone because that will be a problem. But all in all, it's fairly close by the safe area. But look at that. Wait, is he going to throw in a nade or call in a drop? The Chrono Shield coming up. I think he should have actually used his drop first. And the players might have actually not realized, maybe they would have not seen it coming. So the nade's going in. For now, Jawbreakers are definitely looking like they have the upper hand.
Absolutely, they have the numbers advantage to work with. 4 players for Team Jawbreakers, I guess 3 for Team Infinity. I guess if a rotation comes in, if a flank comes in from either sides of the what you would call it. I'm not quite sure if you would call it an island, but it is definitely a hanging cliff. And of course, if Team Jawbreakers can capitalize on their position perfectly, they will be able to completely eliminate Team Infinity. One player already goes down. It's going to be Nobin, who is already down on his knees. Cheetah as well as his teammate. They're going to rush in. Sand is probably the last one who is still standing, using the glue wall to his advantage, but will he be able to hold on to his position? Not really, because this guy, Cheetah, he just rushes in. He doesn't really care about anything else in the world, as I said initially. He goes in with his double vector, shredding players apart by his own free will. And that is just so good to watch. I guess this aggression is going to come handy for Team Jawbreakers when they move on to the play-ins or to the grand finals. But talking about the game though, Mamba, this match is going to be a competitor for your fastest game ending, because we're almost like 14.5 minutes into the game and we have like 8 players surviving. Team Agent as well as Team Jawbreakers are going to fight right now. Team Agent, they have only 3 players to work with. Jawbreakers are still at full strength. This can be very, very threatening for Team Agent, to be honest. Jamil is out there deploying glue walls left and right, trying to survive. The flash comes in. He has no visibility. Absolutely. Sadness takes him down. Jamil is down and out at the moment. Team Agent though, only 2 players to work with. What they can pull off is going to be the question. Ornum with his max 7 sings the songs of death. Takes 2 players down all by himself. What will he be able to do it? Sadness with the grenade launcher takes him down. But with only 1 player surviving, Zishan, he's going to knock down Freak. And I guess this turns into a 1v1. If not, Team Jawbreakers get a revive managed. And I guess they pulled in a revive. Zishan is going to pull in the glue wall. What is going to happen in this fight? I'm not sure. Players are jump peeking, but eventually it's going to be Team Agent who will get aced out. Team Jawbreakers was certainly the better out of the 2, but Orno, oh my word, with the max 7, boy, he did pull off some amazing kills. But 15 minutes into the game, Mamba, 2 teams and 4 players alive, 1v3.
Well, 1v3, it's not impossible, but it's definitely going to be hard. And the funny thing over here is it is just the 4th zone, and it is possible that the game might end the 4th zone. So we'll have to see if it ends in the 4th or in the 5th, because I don't think the last remaining player for that team realizes that it's just him. And once he gets eliminated, there's nowhere else he can go, but the zone is definitely going to push him out. We have Sadness trying to go in close towards that tree, pull out his Woodpecker, and the moment we have Alamin trying to peek, he will get taken down. But I like the glue wall though. That's so cool. But nonetheless, the push is definitely coming in. The glue walls are not going to work out that well. And a booyah in the 5th zone. That's quick. That is really quick.
That is absolutely quick, I guess. Team Jawbreakers, they had the upper hand in almost every fight that they took. In terms of positioning, in terms of numbers advantage, and they kind of capitalize, I guess. They got around 11 odd kills from this game. I'm not sure, but this might actually push them to number 1 in terms of the day's points table. We still have 1 game to go though.
Well, we definitely do have 1 more game to go. And talking about pushing themselves towards the top of the points table, it's maybe not, you never know. I'm not quite sure what the difference was, so we'll definitely have a look at the points table after the next game, especially because it is going to be the last game of the day, and that was quick. This game was really quick, and it just happened the way it happened before we actually had to restart. But we'll have a look at the replay and see where and when teams actually fought. And Salty, why don't you walk us through this?
Yeah, I mean, Team GB2L Esports, they were certainly in a very good position. Taking down Sabir was certainly a very healthy way to start their fight. But eventually, Team GB2L Esports, they kind of succumbed after that. Team Cyanide, though, they had nowhere to go, to be honest, because Blade, he had an opportunity to take players down, especially when he started his spray, but he kind of missed the shot. But after that, he had nowhere to come back. But this grenade, oh my word, this was so good to watch. It was almost like he timed the run for Arthur. He knew that Arthur is going to run into the grenade and he's going to take him out. But eventually, this was one cat and dog fight, which we got to see. I mean, Hamim was probably the guy who was surviving for so long. Look at the back and forth that goes on in. So Bates finally managed to confirm that spray for him. But Shifat, a lot of good fights, Team Xenon and Team One Man, they were equally hurt by this one fight which they undertook. But I guess it was Team Xenon who came out on top with 1 player still surviving for Team Xenon. eventually, I guess it was Team One Man who couldn't really capitalize on their position because Team Xenon had their backstab coming in the form of Alamin as well as another player, and they kind of encapsulated them from all directions. It just gives them so much more room to work with, to be honest, Bama, because if you are a team that is all surrounded by 4 players from the other team, it is very difficult to kind of make your way out. Team Jawbreakers, look at that. I mean, we had 20 players or 19 players surviving. They have only 1 kill to work with, but eventually at the end of the game, this team knows how to capitalize and walk away with 11 kills.
That is true. They can walk away with 11 kills, but then JB again, the way they pushed in over here, Cheetah with his kill onto the player, that was aggression. That was pure aggression. And they had the confidence to execute it. So as long as it works out, right, I think that's okay. But all in all, a good game, a very entertaining game, and very close to my heart because the way it ended so quickly, it reminded me of this one match that Aura and I, we both keep raving about because we were the two casters casting it. But the match being over in the 5th zone, I think this has to be the fastest match ever in the history of Free Fire Bangladesh Championship in its brief history of 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Free Fire Bangladesh Championship is pretty juvenile, to be honest. But as we move forward, we're going to see more historical moments, I guess, which even in the later editions of this tournament, we will be talking about even more. Something which really stands out for me is that moment where Team Agent actually got 4 back-to-back booyahs. But this was one good fight, to be honest. Team Jawbreakers and Team Asian going back and forth, back and forth. It actually went down to the wire. Zishan, he almost pulled off a clutch, especially after the shenanigans of Ornov. I kind of felt like Team Asian, they will eventually pull it off, even with a 3-4 clutch situation. But Team Jawbreakers, they kind of kept their composure. Got the revives back in time because that is one important way to do. I guess you might knock a lot of different players, but getting them back on their feet, it's so important. Not just in the league stages, but I guess it'll be a very important skill once the teams move into the play-ins as well as the grand finals.
Yeah, once the teams move into the play-ins of the grand finals, it is going to be important for sure because you got to be consistent. You can't just perform a day and then not perform the next day, and that is the reason why the league point conversion is so important, and the reason why I love the format, because if you didn't have those conversions, teams would have massive leads that they would work with, and then they just chill like kings. They'd be like, hey man, we have a 100-point lead, we don't really need to work hard. No, it doesn't work that way. And I really like the fact that there is definitely an upper cap on how many points a team can accumulate, because when the league points do get converted, you're compared to your own group, and if you're on top, you get 20 points, nothing more, nothing less. They don't care about kill points eventually. So, well, you got to make sure that there is a fine balance between the two.
Absolutely. There's going to be a fine balance, but we're going to move on to the final game of the day. Eventually, it is going to end at Kalahari just like every other day. The sand dunes of the deserts, it's going to come into play once again. We talked about how the heated affairs are making this map a bit more aggressive than usual. Initially, it was all about long distance fights, but now we get to see a lot more shotguns, a lot more rifles in the game being deployed in Kalahari, and a lot more close quarter combat, Mamba. Because last time I remember, initial fights were almost the way to go in Kalahari. Like the players, they dropped in and bang on. There you go. The triggers are being pulled and the bullets being fired. That is not how you expect it, or how at least Kalahari used to work in the past. I mean, look at that. Look at that. I mean, I'm making a point, but Team Asian, they are proving it right in front of my eyes. Jamil is going to walk in. There is no weapon in the hands of Team GB2L Esports. This is so bad to watch. I mean, I can't even mention how Team GB2L Esports would feel at the moment. One player is definitely down, but Alpha, though, returning the favor, the blue wall is definitely going to help him. One kill has actually been taken down. Or no, it's out of the server, Mama.
Well, that's quite unfortunate, honestly. But then again, command post is an area where a lot of aggression happens and a lot of fights can actually happen as well. And Jamil over here, on the other hand, he doesn't want to stop. He just goes in, gets a couple of kills for himself and his team. And Agents, they've started off on a very strong note. They don't want to mess around. They don't want to waste any time. They just want to go out there and take some fights.
Yeah, this is their natural gameplay, to be honest. And I feel that when Team Agents are playing their A game, they are playing aggressive. And that is something which separates them from the other teams. But nonetheless, in Old Hampton, though, we have team number 2, that's Team Extreme EXE, up against team number 5, of course. We're going to get to know which team it is. But It is going to be Team Electro. The fight is certainly not imminent at this point. It is certainly avoidable for both the sides if they kind of tend to fall back. But eventually, looking at the pattern lately, teams are being more aggressive. Teams are being more blood hungry, more kill thirsty. Whatever. I mean, I'm not trying to go a bit more too dark, but Jamil is going to take the entirety of Team GB2L down. But coming back to the topic, I guess teams have become more aggressive than usual at the later stage of the league stage. So, of course, a lot of fight is going to come through. And here we are, Team Jawbreakers. They are right in front of Team Infinity. And this can be a fight to watch out for, Mama, because Team Jawbreakers, they've been on song, especially in the later half of the tournament. And if they carry on that same momentum, they can be a very big roadblock in the path ahead for Team Infinity, because Team Infinity is another team that has been consistent throughout. Of course, their aggressive gameplay or their gunfight isn't really something which stands out a lot, but you can't really underestimate a team who has accumulated 88 league points out of the entire league stage.
That is true. When you got to accumulate those points, it's not easy work. It's definitely going to be hard. But then again, we talk about Jawbreakers. This has turned out to be one of those teams which has so much firepower, which has so much potential. But then again, you need confidence like Team Agents. The way they've played is just incredible. The way they've bounced back. It goes on to say a lot about that team's mentality. And even though they had such terrible games in the first half of the day, the second half has been on their side. The force has been with them. They've gotten kills, and I wouldn't be surprised if they actually end up in the top 3 or the top 2 at the end of this matchup.
Ooh, top 2. That is quite an ask, but nonetheless, we have a love triangle or a hate triangle developing at the moment. I guess team number 11, that's going to be Team Mask Boys. They're right in front of Team Infinity. This could be a fight that can be very, very important. Team Jawbreakers are also in the vicinity. I guess this can be a fight where we can get to see a third party happening, but Adya, he's just going to rush in. Will he get a kill for himself? Not really good, because Santo is going to shut him down. Absolutely. Jivon walks in through the blue walls, through the time turners. Team Infinity, they just walk in and take him down. Eventually, it's going to be Team Jawbreakers who kind of also return the favor to Infinity as well, because Team Mask Boys as well as Team Jawbreakers, they both tag team and take Infinity down. But Team Jawbreakers, though, they have no mercy. They go against their own teammates. I mean, not teammates, of course, because Team Mask Boys, they were partners in crime in taking Team Infinity down. But after their term was over, after Team Infinity has been taken down, there is no friendship. There is only war. And we were being able to see that. But Team Infinity, I guess, Santo as well as another player, he still survives. Jawbreakers, I guess, all that they want is to try and find them out and take them out as well.
Well, there's no friendship. There's only war. Once you step into the server, even if you're playing against a sibling, it is war. So you should always be prepared for taking up a fight. And when you know that you're fighting against a friend's team, because hey man, outside the game, all of these guys hang out together. They play with each other, and they're good friends as well. But inside the game, you gotta make sure you stick to your own team. You have that professional mindset, and you don't care about anything else, because anything on the kill feed is just another number as long as you're the one who's on the left side of the gun icon.
Absolutely. But I mean, you know what's surprising for me, Mamba? Naim Alam is such a massive streamer in the Bangladeshi region with over 1 million subs. It is surprising that a content creator of his stature is also competing at the competitive level, at the premier competitive level, like the Free Fire Bangladesh Championship, and doing well for his team of Jawbreakers. It just goes to show that these players are not just talented, they're hardworking as well. Because content creation and competitive, both simultaneously, they take a ton of work. I guess, who would know better than Mamba himself?
It is definitely a ton of work for sure, but then again, I believe that being a professional, that was a good dodge with the landmine. Competing at the highest level is the thing that takes the most amount of time, because then again, content creation is something that is limited to you, but being in a professional circuit, you got to study the other teams, you got to study your own team, you got to study your own gameplay, and make sure that you are not making mistakes. So you need to be in that position, in that zone, to try and make sure that you are at the peak performance all the time. And it's not easy. It's definitely not easy.
Absolutely. We'll have to see if how long can Naim Alam be able to do that, because we've seen a lot of content creators come professional players, to be honest, but they tend to burn themselves down, especially with the kind of workload. You talked about how studying the opposition and studying the team is very important, but also it is really important for these players to be at their peak of their mechanical skills, which does require a lot of practice every day. I only can imagine how many hours these guys are putting in the game itself to be in their peak of mechanical skills, be it aiming, be it movements and whatnot. But eventually we have another fight that's going to break out. Team Infinity, 3 players did survive in this particular fight, and Team Jawbreakers would want to take those players down. Freak is on top of the building at the moment, and certainly it is a very good position to work with. But since all the players are actually hurled up in 1 or 2 compounds, I'm not quite sure if the high ground advantage is going to work for Team Jawbreakers' Freak at the moment. He definitely can dish out a few grenades to work with, but he does not have any, to be honest. So the entirety of this fight is going to blow out or break out from below itself. If Sadness just walks in, he knows exactly where Nobin is. He will try and dish out a little bit more damage. Freak is in a very good position. He can actually drop in into the balcony and work things out. Cheetah is going to take down Kingsman. He opens things up for his team. Nobin goes down as well. I mean, I really did wonder if Team Infinity is going to be able to counter the raw firepower of Team Jawbreakers, and little did they do to do it. I mean, Team Jawbreakers, they just walked in, break the doors like Daya from Team CID.
Bruh.
And
well, you definitely need to work on references. But getting back to the game, we have 9 teams, 35 players alive, and you talk about XN. The entire team is alive, but they've not really taken a lot of fights. And the moment I say they've not taken fights, they start shooting. So I guess whatever I've been saying doesn't really happen, but the exact opposite happens. So, well, that's I guess that is what you call the caster's curse. But nonetheless, it has definitely, the last 2 games especially have been so good. The second half of the day has been very entertaining. So I'm excited to see how Electro copes up with the fight, and all in all, how the teams actually approach the rest of the day, because this time around the fights have been rather slow if you compare it to the last map.
yeah, the fights have definitely been slow. Like, we've spent almost like 10 minutes into the game, and we still have 9 teams and 34 players to work with. Like, that gives you an average of almost 4 players every team. So that just goes to show that almost all the teams that are surviving with all their full strength. Team Electro going up against Team XP, I believe it is. Yes, it is Team XP. Arthur, he takes down Sabith, but instantly Team Electro will try and reduce the damage. Saf is going to be the one who takes down Arthur with the MP40. Saf is going to be the one who will heal himself out, but eventually the MP40 is going to sing the songs of death. But Team Electro, they still have 2 players to work with. If the 3rd player gets revived, then things can actually improve a bit. Saf comes in from behind, takes another player down, and this probably becomes a 1v1. I'm not quite sure. 1 player comes up. Team Electro, though, Saf, he confirms the kills for himself. He has 3 kills to work with. Sabith goes down. It is a 1v1 against Hamim. But I guess Team Extreme EX, they come in from nowhere. So Hamimi is going to be the one who will take Sabith down, and Saf is the last one surviving. He will want to move away from this fight, because Team XP, though, only 1 player is surviving. They didn't really survive the onslaught of Team Electro, but Team Electro, they were third-partied by Team Extreme EX, who just rushed in out of nowhere and took them down. That was unfortunate.
Well, that was definitely unfortunate, but you talk about EXE, though, they have 2 kills for themselves, and they're in a decent spot. They can definitely go out and capitalize on the start, so they're going to try and do that. But then again, you got to take things slowly. You shouldn't overextend yourself, because in the process of getting more kills and playing better, you end up overextending yourself, and that's just unfortunate, because that doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for the team, and it can backfire pretty badly. So you never know how it turns out. Just be patient, be confident in your positioning and your own ability, and just go with the flow of the game. A lot of times teams actually try to enforce a play style, and not everybody is either as skillful or as lucky as Agency XP, because they have been on a roll in the second half of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I remember where there was a point where Team Extreme EXE was actually going toe-to-toe against Team Agent from Group B, of course. But eventually it was Team Jawbreakers, I guess, who stole their limelight. But we'll have to find out if where exactly the teams stand in the points table, because that is all that matters. Their placement in their respective groups, that is going to be the biggest deal of the day. At the moment, neither the skills matter, neither does position matters. All that matters is where you stand as compared to your contemporaries. But Team Extreme EXE, they're gonna hold back. I guess there is still a player from Team Electro who is surviving, Seth or Sabit. I'm not quite sure who it is, but eventually it might be a very sad ending. But look at this freak. My word, he wants to take down Team Agent. Team Jawbreakers and Team Agent meet once again, and we might have a rivalry brewing up. I mean, there isn't even a fight anymore because Team Jawbreakers, they completely wiped the entirety of Team Agent out of the server, finished their existence off, and make them extinct in a wink of an eye, because they have 7 kills to work with, 4 players alive, and Team Agent is already out in 8th position. This is a statement that Team Jawbreakers is making. Irrespective of the fact that this team qualifies for the final directly or not, if they play in the play-ins, I'm sure they're going to cause a lot of bloodshed and a lot of mass murders.
Well, we have 6 teams and 23 players, so there is going to be a lot of bloodshed for sure. But Hamim, wait, what? He fell down to his death. That's unfortunate. Jawbreakers, on the other hand, with 7 kills for themselves. If you talk about Theo, the entire team's alive, but they've not been able... Oh my goodness. That was so bad, but... yeah, it's just funny when you see like 2 players shooting at a player and still not connecting a lot of shots, but Fresher has a nade launcher to work with. It all comes down to top 4 teams and 15 players. What do you think, Solly, is going to happen now?
As usual, a lot of firepower, a lot of fights coming in, but I still can't predict though. Team Jawbreakers probably will win a Booyah in this time around because they have a good position to work with. Freak is the only player who is outside the circle. He's actually scouting players who is coming from outside the circle with the snipers. We haven't seen that strategy being deployed in a very long time though. Team Cyanide is going to be the one who will try and rotate in. Sadness will still try and spam his Groza onto Team Cyanide, dishing out a lot of damage to Akib, but the grenade launcher might actually come handy. For Cheetah, things are not actually the same because he is in a position where he might actually get grenaded out of the server, but then he does have players who are supporting him. The circle shifts. Team Jawbreakers, they do cover a pocket of space inside the circle, but team number 9, that's going to be Team 1 man. They're the ones who have the biggest advantage out of all these teams out there. We still have 4 teams alive and 15 players to work with. A grenade comes in from Cheetah and takes down Loser. Look at the points table though, Mamba. I mean, 76 points to work with for Jawbreakers and 64 for Team Cyanide. I didn't really expect Team Cyanide to go out and fall behind in such a big difference. But it'll be very hard for them to overcome that if they want to come out on top today.
If they do want to come out on top today, they're going to have to work harder. They will definitely have to work harder. But if you talk about Freak though, on the other hand, he's done so much work for his team and he's fallen down. Nobody is there to even revive him. That's just unfortunate because he sacrificed himself for his team. He has 4 kills to work with. And Jawbreakers, all in all, they just have so much. You know, they have so many kills. But look at that. Player of the match, round 5, it was actually Freak who he got the MVP award, and he's the one who has 4 kills even right now. So Jawbreakers are definitely on a roll, and they can actually break this Chrono Shield from below. But are they going to do it is the question.
That is going to be a question, but I guess Team Jawbreakers, they would want to brute force their way in. Cheetah has already been taken down. The kill was confirmed by Mola. The glue wall pops out, blocking in the entrance. At the moment, Team 1 man, they have a very strong hold inside the compound. They've made a fortress out of this entire compound itself. I saw a lot of players from Team Ambush Esports kind of falling to their death, and it was really unfortunate. But Loser, though, look at that. The grenade comes in from Fearless, and he will get taken down, but eventually he will be revived. Godspeed taking down Konok. That kind of dishes out a lot of damage. Mola comes in for his rescue, but not really in time. He goes out, but he will find himself right in front of Team Jawbreakers. He makes a cocoon of glue walls, but eventually the circle is going to close in outside the compound. This can actually be very, very unfavorable for Team 1 man. Sadness, he has a shotgun to work with, and I guess he doesn't even have to use it because Team Jawbreakers, boy oh boy, they just had to play with the circle. It was like they were almost flirting with Team 1 man. The circle, it completely cheated them out of the game. They had nothing to do. Team Jawbreakers, they were sitting and chilling.
Yep, they were sitting and chilling for sure, but the way they got the Booyah is you know, showing how dominant they were. in the last game of the day.
Yeah.
And of course, they had so many kills. Freak, once again, one of the most probable choices for the MVP, even though he was the MVP in game number 5, did get 4 kills this time around, sacrificed himself for the team. But the rest of the 3 boys managed to make sure that his sacrifice is not going away and they do get the booyah. So all in all, a very entertaining day. And the last couple of matches even more entertaining and a lot more action-packed. But of course, we're going to have a look at the replays and talk you guys through about what happened. But if we start off with Mask, the way they try to push in, Ion just got taken down so quickly, and then Jabon just struggling to stay alive, and he went down as well. So that was very unfortunate for them, Salty.
Yeah, I mean, Team Mask Boys, they just tried to be like brute force their way in, but eventually they were taken down in a flash. Team Infinity, though, they were overwhelmed by the numbers and the aggression of Team Jawbreakers. I mean, this is the difference, Mamba. Team Infinity, they had the same compound to work with initially, but they easily dished out all the aggression coming in from Team Mask Boys. But Team Jawbreakers did the same thing, but they couldn't really contain the aggression coming in from them. I guess this is exactly a parameter. I wouldn't say to judge skill, but at least to judge the mentalities or the aggression or the aggressive mindset that these players possess from Team Jawbreakers. This is something which you can actually use to judge how the players are actually mentally preparing themselves. But this was one fight where we got to see Extreme EXE just rush into the fight and take them out by surprise. But eventually it was Team Extreme EXE who found themselves taken out. It was 77MD who was taken down in a pretty sad fashion. But the final fight was something which was absolutely crazy, because the circle zeroed in outside the compound. It kind of threw Team One Man's guard off, and exactly they had nowhere to go. Mola did try to save himself with the cocoon of blue wall, but eventually the circle and its damage was just too much for them to hold. Fearless was taken down by the circle itself. Naima Alam was the one who took down Mola, and eventually it was Team Jawbreakers scripting the death of Team One Man.
Yeah, it was eventually Jawbreaker going out there and getting the booyah, and the way they played was really, really good. So I'm happy. All in all, it was a good matchup. It was an entertaining matchup. But what do you have to say about Agents, though? The way they came back goes on to say so much about the mentality. And I think we're going to have a discussion about this, but sorry, why don't we actually go on a break before that while we, gather all our points? Because Agents, they've been playing so well that we have a lot of things to say about them. But ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. Right now it's time for a really, really short break. On the other side, we're going to break some numbers down for you guys. And of course, we will also talk about the league point conversion and all the numbers. So do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
It's me again, Kelly! Huge thanks to all of you for the warm support to Free Fire Esports in the past years. I know all of us can't wait to find out what's next for Free Fire Esports in 2021. So today, I am very excited to share with you what we've achieved so far and what we are planning for this year. Let's start with our biggest esports event in 2020, the Free Fire Continental Series. By the way, I hope you still remember my terrific performance at the opening ceremony. We broke records with the Asia Series, where 2.5 million of you tuned in to us live. The America Series also had a peak of over 1.7 million live viewers. Meanwhile, the EMEA Series also drew in nearly 300,000 live viewers, creating new viewership records for us in the CIS and Middle East regions. Your support was absolutely amazing! The Free Fire family just keeps growing. You guys rock! The World Series, together with the rest of our tournaments, pushed Free Fire into the top 5 most watched games on YouTube in 2020. Last but not least, we won the Esports Mobile Game of the Year at the Esports Awards 2020. We are humbled by your passion and love for Free Fire Esports. This award is yours as much as it is ours. Hayato, it's your turn to talk about the World Series.
Sure. We have continuously expanded our esports outreach throughout the world, and the number of participating regions have grown massively. We started with 9 regions at our very first international tournament, the Free Fire World Cup. Over the past 2 years, our esports community has grown to include India, Russia, the Middle East, and the Pakistan regions. Our plans to grow further do not stop here. And in 2021, we'll be adding Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Philippines as competitive regions.
Yay!
Next, we're proud to present the brand new logo and format for the Free Fire World Series, our largest and most iconic tournament of the year. This year will be bigger than ever before. There will be 2 World Series in 2021. The first World Series will be taking place in Asia during April, while the second World Series will be hosted in November. In addition to these, there will be another international tournament around July. So stay tuned for the rest of the year.
In 2021, we will continue to work hard and provide more engaging esports events and content. We are excited to see Free Fire Esports grow bigger this year, and we know we can do it with you as our loyal fans. That's all for now, and we will meet again very soon in April for the World Series.
See you soon.
Hi, Safa.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Free Fire Bangladesh Championship 2021. My name is Salty and with me is Mamba. We were talking about Team Agents just before going on a break. So why don't you break down the numbers and the performances?
Obviously, we're going to talk about the numbers and the performances, but what I want to really talk about is their fortitude, because the way they played, the way they bounced back was nothing short of a miracle, because getting 15 frags in a game, 15 kill points, and then going on to get the top 2 position, being second in terms of placement points in just one game, like just snapping and turning around, it takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot of perseverance as well, and perseverance is definitely a word we've been hearing a lot lately. But once again, Agents making sure that they are no pushovers, and making sure that every other team in the tournament knows about this. But we're going to have a look at the map recap and see how the maps panned out today. Ambush Esports starting off with a nice booyah, but in the second or the third game, they were not able to perform that well. Even Cyanide in the third game was eliminated early, but then again, they went on to get a booyah in Bermuda. And then we talk about Jawbreakers, who got back-to-back booyahs in round number 5 and round number 6, playing really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, Jawbreakers, they came out from nowhere. I mean, the first good performance came in on Kalahari, but after that, they just went on consistently. Team Cyanide, though, I guess this team has been performing consistently as well. But Ambush Esports, I want to talk about them, though. This is one team that hasn't really been performing to the best of their capabilities. But come week 3, I guess they've been really showing up. I really love the fact how Team Ambush Esports were getting their kills as well as getting the numbers in. I guess it's really important for you to survive with all 4 players standing. And that is something which Team Ambush Esports always prioritize. They entered in the final circle, and without any sort of disturbance, they take everyone down. I guess it's better if you have 4 pairs of eyes. Less than like
it
3
is.
or 2.
I mean, obviously, it's just not an extra set of eyes, but of course, you have players who can pitch in the decision, maybe go out there and be the bait, be the entry fragger, and just clear area. But of course, we can have the scoreboard as well. Let's have a look at the scoreboard and see how the teams fare out against each other. But then again, Agent getting the top 5 from position number 9. They literally had, it's insane. Just look at this. Look at this. The only team in the top 5 below 30 placement points is Agent EXP with 27 points. But look at the kill points, though. That's just as good as it gets. You talk about Jawbreakers. The only reason why they're up there is not because they have a copious amount of kills more, but just that they have so many more placement points.
We've seen almost like every other game, Team Agent Esports, they make sure that before they get eliminated, they might get taken down in the 11th or the 12th spot, but before they go down, they will take down an entire team by themselves. They always drop in those hot drop locations where they will find almost every other team. Lately, I guess the victim has been Team GB2L Esports quite a lot. We've seen them drop in a lot of similar locations in quite a different number of maps. I guess specifically, if I would have to say, it was Purgatory and Kalahari, where GB2L Esports as well as Asian, they drop in on the same location and they fight it out almost instantly, GB2L Esports. So they've always come out at the wrong end of that particular fight. I mean, of course, going up against a team like Agent would really haunt you. But the performances, to be honest, because Agent, they never really pressed their first foot off the gas. I guess they were on point in week 1 and they're still doing so in week 3. And I guess come the play-ins as well as the grand finals, it will be the test of their consistency, because I was talking about this with Tanya, because I kind of felt like their form has been dipping quite a bit. We expect this that teams kind of peak right at the start of a very long tournament or at the start of a very long league, but eventually when it comes to the business end, sometimes it so happens that teams kind of get a little bit colder. I guess that shouldn't really happen with Team Asian though. If they want to win the grand finals, they have to keep on that consistency and keep that pedal and keep their foot strong.
Yep, you gotta keep your foot strong, and you just gotta make sure that you keep on rallying your troops the way you want to, and not let the pressure affect you, not let the results affect you. Because if you believe in yourself, and if you know that you've practiced the right way, it doesn't matter. Because there are factors which are out of your control, but the factors that you can control, you can always go by your plan and execute it to the best of your ability. But of course, we can have a look at the tournament format as well and explain it to the viewers once again how the tournament goes on. So we started off with an FFC mode qualifier from where we had the top 48 teams proceed to the close qualifying. Let me remind you guys, the FFC mode qualifier is an open qualifying. Every player, every team can participate in it. There are no restrictions. But you got to be in the top 48 to move on to the close qualifiers, and the top 18 move on to the league season, which is happening right now. And then the top 6 teams, that is 2 teams from each group, move on to the grand finals. But the bottom 12 teams are going to battle it out in the grand final play-ins, and the top 6 teams from there will move on to the grand finals. And that is how we get 12 finalists to battle out on the final day. And the winner on the grand finals day is going to be crowned the champions of Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. But of course, a hashtag Khelo Bangladesh. Always remember that, because, well, this is for all of you guys. But let's have a look at the league point conversion, Salty, and why don't you walk us through it?
Absolutely. The league point conversion is probably the most important aspect of the tournament itself. We divide this tournament into battle between groups. It doesn't matter where you individually stand in terms of the entire day's points table, but if you are on top of your contemporaries from the same group, you get 20 points irrespective of what. Look at Group B1. All right, that is the first position team from Group B. He gets 20 points irrespective of the fact that he is in the 3rd place, or even if he's in the 5th place, doesn't matter. Since he is first position from Group B, he will get 20 points. Same goes with Group A1 as well. This is the team that has got the first position from Group A, and they're going to carry home 20 points forward. The second position team, they will get 17 points to work with, then 14, then 10 and 7, and finally 4 points to work with. So of course, this is exactly what you want. You want those 20 league points from every day that you're playing. Of course, that is not quite possible, but of course, you would want that. That is certainly in the minds of a lot of different teams. But we have the group standing, and that is exactly where the tournament stands after so many days of grueling Free Fire. Group A, quite a lot of competition between Electro and Infinity for the top spot. For both of these two teams have actually crossed 100. I remember Sinai was nowhere in the competition. They were actually reeling at the bottom, but eventually they come in and they have 75 points to work with. Mamba, for a fact, Group A's matches are already over, and we know for a fact that Electra and Infinity are qualifying to the grand finals directly, while the bottom 4 teams, they will be playing the play-ins. But that is not the case with Group B and Group C.
Yep, that is definitely not the case with Group B and Group C. And, well, Agent, for them, even though today was a little shaky, they're still on top with 82 points, so that's a good thing. We have B26 Mystiques as the top team, but Group C has a lot of volatility. Either of the 2 teams out of the top 4 can qualify, but then once again, not a massive point difference. But you look at Electro and the company, I think they are fairly okay with that. So, that is the league standings for you, ladies and gentlemen. But Salty, before we head on to the replays once again, and for everyone who's missed out on the action, talk about that. We have the socials to talk about. And I want to come to you and ask you about the entire day. How do you feel about the entire day? But before that, ladies and gentlemen, do follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. It is Bangladesh Official Free Fire. So do not forget, go follow us on all social media platforms, because that is where you get all the updates for the tournaments and everything else that goes on. But Salty, coming back to you, what do you think about the entire day? How did it pan out in your eyes?
I mean, we got to see a lot more aggression, something which I expected. Purgatory ending within like around 15 minutes. Kalahari being relatively aggressive as well, and finishing up very early. So I kind of felt like coming at the business end of the league stage, teams will go in and kind of play a bit more aggressive because they don't really have a lot to worry about. Imagine teams from Group A. They know for a fact that the group is almost decided. Infinity and Electro, they're going to run away with I mean, the direct entry to the grand finals, of course. There is nothing to lose, to be honest. If we want to have fun for a day or two, why not? So I guess the teams did go all out in today's game. But talking about Group C, though, I mean, nothing is decided, and they have a lot to play for. We got to see a 4-point difference, a 4-point buffer between top 1 and top 4 teams. That's just something which makes the final day even more worthy of watching, because you wanna get to know first who is qualifying to the grand finals directly.
Yep, that is true. You want to know first who's qualifying into the grand finals directly, but for all our fans, this is the moment they wait for, because the redeem code
Yeah.
is about to be here on the screen on the bottom right side. So make sure you guys go there and go to the website rewards.ff.garena.com and type in the redeem code, which is FFPCLY4LNC4B, and it is only valid until midnight tonight. So make sure you guys go there and grab it while it lasts. And I hope you guys have fun with the redeem code. Sure, but yeah, it's going to be a cool skin.
It is going to be a cool skin, and the best part about it is it's free. It is your reward of watching the stream for the entire day, and it's free. I guess nothing is better than a free stuff, Mama, especially free skins. We talked about how skins don't really improve your skill, but of course they look good, and you can actually show it off to your friends, and like be a boss in your team.
Yep, be a boss in your team. That is absolutely right. You want to be a boss in the team. You want to be the fanciest looking guy on the roster. But ladies and gentlemen, for those of you guys who are just tuning in right now and have missed out on all the action or were unable to watch the stream early on in the day, we still have the highlights lined up for you guys. But before that, Salty and I, we will be signing off. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. And here are the highlights for you guys.